Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com. This is TWiT Live Special number 206, recorded September 9th, 2014. Apple's iPhone and Apple Watch announcement. Hello, everybody, and welcome to, somebody called it Nerdstock, Nerdmas, the Apple iPhone event. Every September, Apple brings us something under the tree, and we're here to talk about it live. Apple will be streaming live at apple.com/live, so if you want to watch just them without our commentary, I invite you to do that, because what you're going to hear here, you'll be able to watch the stream with us and hear what we think. Joining me right now, Sarah Lane, host of iPad Today and i5 for the iPhone. She's got her nuts, got her kombucha.
I've got it all. I'm ready.
Coffee, got her water.
I might be here for a while, so.
You know, we may be.
Hydrate.
This could be a big event. Also, Alex Lindsay here from Pixel Core, Mac Break Weekly, creator of Mac Break. Good to have you. And you'll be running the question engine today. We'll explain that in a moment. Yep. Mike Elgan is also here, our news director and anchor at TNT.
Yes.
And we know that Renee, Ritchie, and Andy Anako from Mac Break Weekly are in the auditorium now. They've just gone in. As you can see, people are starting to fill up the Flint Center in Cupertino, where in just about 5 minutes, we expect Apple to do something. We don't know exactly what. What do you think, Mike?
I think that people are calling it the iPhone event right now, and after the event, they're going to call it the iWatch event. I think that's going to steal the show. And so from users' perspective, from the consumer electronics industry's perspective, this is all about the iWatch. But from Apple's perspective, as a business, this is all about the wallet stuff. Because I think that in a few years, the majority of their revenue and income is going to come from their commerce-related technology.
Yeah. Sarah, what are you expecting today?
Well, I don't expect that the wearable that I do expect will be called an iPod. And I'm just going to go ahead.
I said that. I said it would be.
I'm going to go ahead and say that sounds crazy to me.
How about wrist pod? Pod wrist?
I think it's going to be the iWatch. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see how it's supposed to pair with Apple's existing products. I guess I'm interested to see how the iPhones get bigger and still, excite and delight us. I'm still thinking that this seems a lot bigger than the iPhone I was used to for a few years.
5S is going to be bigger still, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. But and then which one do you get? But the wearable is actually what I'm more interested in today. I want a new product.
You've been following Twitter that Dr. Dre and Gwen Stefani are in their private jet flying to the event.
Yes, Gwen Stefani tweeted that they're on their way. I don't know when the photo was taken, but
they better be there by now, unless they're coming in by helicopter. It's a big group. About 2,500, as we can see now in Flint Center, in the balconies, in the boxes. This is a concert venue, music, comedy shows, and the biggest venue in Cupertino. It makes sense that Apple would have their event in Cupertino. Not normally, though. Normally it's at Moscone Center. The iPad announcement was there in 2010. The original iPhone announcement was at Moscone West, a comparably large facility in San Francisco. But this is the beginning, I think, of Cupertino events. Their new campus will have a big auditorium like this, and I expect we won't be seeing many more San Francisco events. Alex, Lindsay, what do you expect today?
I think we're going to see Apple make the case for why they're doing what they're doing. So I think that we're going to see a lot of whether it's working with health care providers, whether it's working with the home. I think we're going to see them not just show and I think this is the one thing that a lot of their competitors don't do very well. They show this is a cool technology and it could do these cool things, but I think Apple is going to spend a lot of time showing us why you want your watch to have NFC, why if it has it, why you want how it's going to work and who's already partnered and how that's going to work. And I think they're going to really spend a lot of time because they have to. That's what's going to the context of these devices is really what's going to sell them.
We're about 2 minutes out right now. Do you want to tell us about the question engine so we can give people a chance to?
Yeah, so if you go to twit.to/iPhone 6.
I may have misnamed this. I should have called it iWatch.
That's a link. It's a link. It doesn't matter. So anyway, if you go there, you'll see the question system, and here we have notice something that you can't do very well if you go to it right now. You'll see that if you put a really long HTML link in, it doesn't wrap. We'll fix that later. But outside of that, you can see questions. You can vote the questions up and down. If someone asks a question, first look at the questions that are already asked, vote them up and down. If there's before you ask your own, because there's oftentimes a lot of questions coming in. So
and we'll take the most upvoted questions.
And we're going to take the most upvoted. I, in the background, oftentimes will be answering some of the smaller questions or some of the and leave some of the other ones there. So we'll try to answer as many as we can in real time. So anyway, but it's a great way for you to interact with us, and we'll grab a couple of them throughout the show.
Yep.
We also want to mention that we will be playing iPhone Bingo today, thanks to one of our viewers who has created a bingo card for us at Apple, and you can play along at applebingo.club. Applebingo.club. Magical 4.7 inches, 5.5 inches, 3x resolution, curved glass screen, sapphire screen, sexy iWatch, wireless charging, Craig Federighi's hair moment.
Yep.
I saw him in the front row. Yes, the hair is there.
And he looks fabulous.
Where's Toxic Hell Stew?
I haven't seen it, but I don't think they'll repeat that. NFC
I want a picture of him next to Chris Breen.
I also want to point out that Apple has put this on their homepage. Coco Lee is also on her way.
Who's that?
No idea.
Oh.
Asian recording artist Coco Lee.
All right. Coco's in the house.
In the house. It's interesting.
Good.
A lot of people coming from, well, that's interesting. What is this now? We're seeing the Apple TV truck schedule. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
9 a.m. bars, slate, and tone.
Somebody hit the wrong button.
9:30 bars, slate, and music. 9:45 video and music. And at 10, the keynote address.
Someone's got the
They've
wrong.
got 30 seconds to fix that.
Already off to a bad start.
This is why Apple does not do live streaming. This is on their stream?
I just like to tell Apple we do this too. Just in case you're wondering if you're watching. And I've never put the slate up.
So I'd like to answer the top question, if I may, on the question engine, which is, will the iWatch be round or square? We don't know for sure, but there's some evidence that it will be both. There'll be one of each. There was a leaked set of schematics that came out that was verified, apparently, and one of them appeared to be round and the other one appeared to be square. But we do know, or at least, we do know that the fashion press has been invited to this event.
Apparently the music industry as well.
And I think the reason and these are, by fashion, I mean women's fashion magazines and so on. And I think the reason is that the big show-offy thing about the iWatch that will differentiate it more than any other feature from the Android Wear type watches is that this will be designed to appeal to women. And so half the market already Apple is going for.
Because, all women like the same things.
Well,
you don't like this. I'm willing to bet. This is an Android Wear watch. I'm wearing it. This will probably be the last day I'll ever. Well, maybe not.
Wow, you don't know when it's going to
ship.
ship.
I'd be wearing this till January.
It's cool looking.
Really? Would you like to wear it?
I mean, no.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the point.
I think that, statistically, that probably better than 95% of smartwatches that have shipped so far have been purchased by men. And so that's something that Apple would like to turn around. Whether they can actually do it is another question. Of course, everybody's trying to do something about that. Samsung has the Swarovski, is that how you say
Swarovski.
it? Swarovski.
I have the same difficulty.
Crystal watches.
Yeah.
And also Intel came out with these watches that are, all crystalled out. So that's probably not the solution, but they're all trying.
Well, and definitely if you look at the kind of people, whether it's designers, executives that Apple is bringing into the fold, they are definitely focused on being very fashion forward.
Here we go. The copy right now is up. No, you're not getting the same thing I am. Maybe you're a little behind. I'm getting the copyright. This broadcast, its contents is sole property of Apple. So we may not make a copy of it.
We may not stream
Actually, it sounds
ourselves.
like we really can't rebroadcast this. So I think we're going to actually not broadcast this because what do you think, Alex?
No, we've done it every time. They've given it to us.
It may be permitted by law. I think it's permitted by law.
I think it's permitted.
We're just going to have to make it a
called
parody.
fair use. It's a parody. All right.
We're talking over it. It's not like we're doing a straight stream.
Right.
I think that's fair use.
It's interesting. Apple also has on its page a social media feed, which includes tweets and content from Apple. Photographer Jeremy Cowart, fourth row dead center, ready, freaking out. Alyssa Brezhnak. She's famous, isn't she?
No.
No.
Sounds like a tennis player.
Okay. Michael Franti is famous. Stephen Fry, well, I can't deny it anymore. I'm in Cupertino at the Flint where the iMac was launched. Stephen Fry, of course, the British comedian, host of QI. A very funny guy and beloved by geeks. He's there, as is Coco Lee, or she will be soon. Marie Claire, that's the fashion magazine. What's
Correct.
hidden underneath this white box is the talk of the town, kind of confirming that. We're getting the video now. I think we can show that, I guess. What is that?
Coco Lee is a Chinese artist and the first to perform. She performed at the Academy Awards.
Ah, shows what I know.
And she performed the Best Original Song nominated, A Love Before Time, from the movie Crouching
We're
Tiger,
going to
Hidden
take
Dragon.
beautiful song. We're now going to take you to the Flint Center in Cupertino. We're having a little trouble with our feed where they are now showing a video. Go ahead and bring up that audio.
Audio's up.
World, you are the difference. The world as it was is apparently stairs, and again with the truck. I'm not getting that. I don't know why you're getting that. What are you on?
They just coffee. He's just drinking
Maybe they sense it's us. Maybe they're blocking us.
No. Come on.
Here, half the truck. This is very arty. You know what it reminds me a little bit of is the Moto X or OK Go videos where there's no audio. Okay, there is audio, but we're just having a little trouble.
No, he's getting it from his. Make sure you have yours turned up.
You don't need to watch mine unless
His isn't working.
his isn't working. Huh? All right. So
we missed the bar. That was at 9:30.
Andy Anako, Renee Ritchie in the hall. We're down there with a camera crew. We will talk to them live as soon as the event ends. Andy was kind of the opinion that the press would be trapped inside.
Tim Cook is actually on stage. Trapped inside and then eliminated.
I don't know if it's us or Apple having difficulty. This is now a rebroadcast of Apple's own issues. and for some reason, Anthony and I are getting completely different things. I think Apple's jamming us. I really do. Is that possible, Alex? By IP address? That Leo
That
guy.
would be very difficult.
Here we go. Let's watch Tim Cook.
As you know, we're just down the road from Apple's birthplace and home in
This is the
Cupertino.
Chinese version?
这里
And
离我
we've
们
had
的
some
总部
of,
在这儿呢。
China's
Where are
very
you getting
important.
that, Anthony?
some of the most important product introductions
Well, take it because I want
这里
something.
推出了苹果历史上最为重要的
For our
产品之一
Chinese
是
viewers, you'll be able to listen as
在
well.
这个
30
舞
years
台上
ago,
，30年之前，
Steve introduced the
史蒂夫
Macintosh to the
乔布
world.
斯向世界推出了 Mac。
Everyone else is hearing this.
So it's Apple.
Yeah.
And now
Everybody's
we go
hearing
back-
Chinese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now
hearing
we
the
get
same
back
thing.
to the truck.
Oh, man.
Will somebody lose their job over this,
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Someone will
Lindsay?
lose the account.
Or the account, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is the new world that they talked about.
So we're going to probably want to watch the live blogs for this one. Here's our view from our live views working just fine. This is your live view, actually, Alex, at the scene.
Oh, is this the...
Patrick
Doing a hot air
Delahanty
balloon. Look at
and
that.
Zach and
Yes.
Karsten are there with
I
a
knew those
great view.
backpacks would come in handy somewhere.
Nice job. The only view live from the Flint Center is our own camera.
Nothing like throwing a couple modems into
Take
it.
that.
They have a SAT truck. We have... And that's why you always have two sources.
Yeah. If you want us to come in and stream it, Apple, just call us.
Yeah, we've got a backpack right there.
We
can
can
walk
get in there.
over.
We can stream it. We'll be there in seconds. Sarah, would you watch the live blogs?
Happy to.
Apple is reporting, or Tim Cook is saying that the iPhone has 98% customer satisfaction.
That's okay.
So
Yeah,
glad
this
to
is
hear
the we're bragging about how great we are.
that. Yeah, this is the
segments.
normal.
So we're not missing anything important yet.
No,
We're cool. We need the financial docs, the financial graphs, and
right.
这对于我们
sales
来说
graphs.
And we're still in Chinese.
They help us express just how we
Hey, that's English.
see things differently.
我们
And we hope they
从
mean
一部分
something
的
to
视角
all
来
of
看
you
待
who
世
also
界。
see things
我
differently,
们相信大家
and
也
to
是用不同的视角
everyone
来
that is
看待世
striving to
界
move the。
那
world
么我们
forward.
大家呢
This
都
is
希望
very
让
odd.
世
It
界的
is
进步。
great to be back in this place.
I have to say, it's not a very clear feed either. It looks like a feed of a feed, doesn't it, Alex?
we just
As you know, we're just down the road from Apple's birthplace and home in Cupertino.
这里
And
离我
we've
们
had
的
some
总部 Cupertino
amazing
不远，
history here.
在这儿呢，我们见证了重要
We've
的
had
历史。
some of the most important product
Well,
introductions.
Apple has said for some time the Chinese market very important.
It turns out more important than the U.S. market.
iOS 8 features a lot of Chinese, modifications
Apple
for the
knows
Chinese
what's
market.
best for us. We've got to get used to it.
Macintosh 电脑
And on this stage,
It's a shame Tony's not here because he could translate the
我
translation
们
for
推
us.
出了 iMac。
There's the iMac. This again, as Tim just said, is where the iMac was introduced in 1984. The very famous speech Steve Jobs gave in a bow tie.
So he's already announced the iPhone,
amazing
not on this stream, but in
I'm
live.
seeing a video of iPhone. Can you pull that up?
Black, silver, and gold colors.
What is that from?
It's
Tony?
basically just like the
Anthony?
leaks.
It is exactly rounded.
very key day for Apple.
Can you show that,
I
please?
usually go through a few.
There we go. So there we go. There's the first view of a new iPhone. That does kind of encourage one to believe there might be more than just an iPhone today.
Yeah, they jumped into it that quickly. That's like, okay, yeah, we did an iPhone, and now we're going to move on to something
What is
else.
that? Okay, that's the
iPhone
lens.
6 and the iPhone 6 Plus is what they're
Oh,
calling
there it is, and that's the 5.5 inch.
Google should sue them.
Why?
Plus.
I don't think Google owns Plus.
iPhone 6 Plus, they're spelling it out with plus. The
PLUS.
Yeah. iPhone 6 Plus is the big one.
So we're continuing to have difficulty with the feed, and
It's everybody.
it's
it's
everybody.
Apple.
Too many people watching. They've saturated the line.
Oh, I think it's their truck.
I don't think so. A lot of this looks like this looks like buffering issues. It's probably not the truck.
Okay.
It looks like the CDN is melting down.
Well, I'm not surprised. You know, even our biggest viewership is always these Apple events. Today, we are pleased to announce the biggest advance in the iPhone. Actually, he said advancement. I don't know if that's...
Phil Schiller is up
Glass curves
on
around.
stage.
Glass curves around the side, they're saying.
Really? Is that something we expected?
Yeah, I mean, that was...
hadn't
Is it sensitive?
heard
Is
that.
it
That's what
touch
the leaks
sensitive
had
around the-
suggested.
around the side?
No, I don't think so.
Whoa. That's all I got to say.
That would be like a Samsung Edge. It would explain why Samsung ran that thing out. So if you're just tuning in there, Apple is having trouble with its own stream. We're having trouble rebroadcasting it. But we are going to continue, obviously, to tell you what's going on in Flint Center right now. And Apple has already announced new iPhone. You know what? They're starting their stream again at the beginning. They're playing this commercial over and over again? Craig, okay, that looks like Phil Schiller is now on stage. And again, can you get some audio? Yeah.
In every way.
We'll take the Chinese version. It's the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus.
sRGB accurate.
They got rid of the barn door.
Ion strengthened glass. This is the patent we talked about this week on Tech News
But it
Today.
is not
We
sapphire.
know how, from their ion strengthened glass all the way down to new thinner backlights.
IPS display,
Packed with incredible innovation.
as with
I'll
previous
just give you one
iPhones.
example.
我可以给
The
大家一个例
LCD
子，这个
that
LCD
displays all your beautiful colored photos is
跟
made with a
大家拍摄
technology
出
called
漂亮照
dual
片的这
domain
个
pixels. And these pixels allow it
屏幕
to
呢
have
使用
a
了
very
双
broad
臂
angular view
像
with
素
accurate colors.
那么在更广阔的视
They're
角都可以
simply
显示出更加准确
stunning,
的颜
unlike
色
any
可
displays
以说
Apple,
ever on a phone.
again, and they've done this consistently, going for thinner.
They're a lot bigger. Here on the left is an iPhone
impossibly thin.
5S.
是 iPhone
In the
5S，
center,
Retina
iPhone 6,
HD
and on the
display.
right,
中
the
间呢是
iPhone
iPhone
6
6。
I could be wrong about this, but it seems to me that there are other features more
You don't
important
know.
than this.
Well, battery life,
Battery
for
life.
instance, you sacrifice your battery life.
4.7 inch for iPhone 6.
I think that one of the things, though, it is something that is
Okay,
very.
just confirm 4.7 and 5.5. Sorry.
What are
Greg.
they packed with?
I think one of the issues is
There's
that,
the resolution. Is that 3x?
1 million pixels.
1920 by 1080.
Wow.
It is not. Okay, John Gruber's math was off. The 5.5 is 1080p. The 4.7 is 750p, 1334 by 750.
2 million pixels on the iPhone 6 Plus.
They're not going for the super high res
It's still pretty high res.
display. I mean, it's plenty
1080p.
high res, but does not have the PPI of. And then we are in the
And
truck
now the
again.
truck schedule.
Note the times on the iPhone. They're typically It says 9:41. Aren't they typically 10:41? Maybe the first iPhone announcement was at 9:41. They always do 9:41.
The new ones are faster.
Yeah, an hour fast.
And boy, are they packed with pixels.
6.9 millimeters thin for the 6 Plus.
I think one of the things.
Moto X at 4.7 inches was criticized because it was 720p. 750p is a little bit better. But it is more than 300 pixels per inch. And I think that anything more than 300 is plenty. Right?
Yeah, that's plenty. I mean, and when you look at the Plus, I mean, that's just basically like looking at paper at that point. 1920 by 1080 on that screen, it might as well just be paper.
Tim Cook is backstage screaming at people, firing people.
He's probably calmly telling them to exit the building.
If it were Steve, I think they'd actually stop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cancel the whole thing.
Cancel the whole thing.
You know, they may not even know.
They don't care, probably.
Well, the thing is, they're doing the event there. They may not even know what's going on downstream.
Right. Well,
somebody knows by now.
But the guys speaking, usually they won't tell them.
Right.
So now they're showing the landscape mode in the iPhone 6 Plus that we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Mark Gurman had the scoop that they were going to have this special feature when you put the iPhone 6 Plus into the landscape.
The question is, what apps are you running? Are you going to run iPad apps or are you going to run iPhone apps on this big one? And I think somebody said one thing's for sure, universal becomes very important.
I hope it's iPad apps. I mean, there's enough resolution there.
You could, yeah.
Stunning displays, larger, more pixels.
There's also a horizontal home screen view.
And they are incredible.
So we know there is Chinese in the background. That is what Apple is feeding out over its feed.
The angle of view is broader.
It's kind of funny. At the beginning, they had this marketing signs and stuff saying this is the new world. And the new world is in Chinese, apparently.
I just don't understand why they didn't just create a separate screen.
Displays more than before, and the 6 Plus displays more. And
could have made the whole thing.
Interesting. So do you see what they're doing there? There is going to be a new version of Contacts specifically for the larger size phone.
And we took special advantage of the iPhone 6
How will I fit the larger phone in my pants?
You need.
That's a serious question.
You need pants.
And here's the landscape mode you were talking about. And there it goes.
And there it goes. And here we are.
They don't know the answer either.
So it
incredibly unique. From the glass front, the curves around
they call it reachability. A new gesture for the iPhone 6 Plus is called reachability. There's something wrong with that. I don't know what it is.
This, by the way, is exactly why Apple for many years would not stream their events. This is the thing they were worried about.
Right.
And it detracts attention from what they really rightly deserve attention for, which is what they are announcing.
There's a new control. If you double touch the Touch ID button, the display slides down so you can reach things at the top.
This is that they're trying to preserve that one-handed.
Retina HD, and they are by far the most beautiful displays ever built into a phone.
Reachable.
They are new.
Reachability is the feature that,
They're incredibly
power button's on the right side now.
Colors are stunning. They're accurate, sRGB accurate. And across from the top to the bottom,
the App Store has 1.3 million apps.
We know how. From their ion-strengthened glass.
So what do you think, Sarah? Will these be iPhone apps or iPad apps?
They're packed with incredible innovations.
I think it's some sort of a universal version.
It's made with a technology called dual domain.
It's got to be an
because they're going to have to run on all of them.
Yeah, it's got to be just a regular iPhone apps can be written for this. They're essentially taking existing screens and they're putting them side by side. So normally you'd have to swipe from one screen to another. And so developers will probably have to say, okay, these are the screens that you see when you go into this horizontal mode.
And again, the stream has failed us. They are now, it looks like, showing
1.3 million apps.
The App Store, 1.3 million apps available. Yeah, I wonder whether they'll address the iCloud security breach, which they say is not an iCloud security breach.
Oh, I don't think they will. Why would they?
Yeah, I think if they were going to, they would have by now.
Yep.
But what about all those apps that haven't been updated yet, don't know anything about these displays?
Here we go.
Well, here's what happens.
Let's listen. Turn it up.
They just work. So we have an iPhone 5S on the left, 6 in the middle, and again 6 Plus on the right. This is the CNN app before it has been updated to take advantage of these displays. Built into iOS is now a desktop-class scaler, technology that makes this software look beautiful on different size displays. And so the text is sharp, the colors are beautiful, it all
Phones have the A8 chip.
And if a developer wants to take advantage of these big displays, as we have with our apps, and do special work, as CNN is doing, you can create even more incredible apps.
So unmodified apps work fine. They just scale up.
For the 6 and the 6 Plus.
And they're encouraging people
And
to
they're creating a new horizontal view
recode
as
in
well.
Xcode,
Take
and
advantage of
you'll
these
get a
large
new format.
displays. So developers, all their apps.
Can we turn that up, that
and
bleed
they
up
do
just a
some
little bit more?
exciting new things with them too. So those are the new Retina HD displays in the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus. That alone makes these phones amazing, but that doesn't come close to telling the story of why these are the best phones ever made. So what else? Next?
I feel like I'm on drugs.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting, I must say.
Did they really do this Chinese thing with all the feeds?
Yeah.
They did this on purpose?
No.
It was all they had.
There's
It's the
no
best they
way
had.
they're doing this on purpose.
I
best they had.
have the feeling that that's why they're doing it, in order to broadcast something.
I mean, we do 6 languages and 6 different feeds all the time.
They
all
should have
day.
hired you.
All right. Let's listen to Phil.
Why does that matter? Well, it lets us make 2 billion transistors in a chip that's 13% smaller than the A7. And it delivers great performance. Up to 25% faster CPU performance. Up to 50% faster graphics performance. And if you look at what's happened over the years, the team has done a great job of driving that performance each year. Now, the iPhone 6 with the AA chip is up to 50 times faster than the original iPhone. At CPU test and at graphics test, up to 84 times faster. So incredible performance.
As we expected, a 64-bit processor. Apple's still the only company with a 64-bit phone, although Qualcomm is rapidly doing a 64-bit Snapdragon, and I think there is now an HTC Desire that has that uses that.
Yeah, they're trickling out.
Processor. Very thin. The current iPhone is 7.6 millimeters. Even the Plus is 7.1, and the iPhone 6 is 6.9 millimeters. So yes, again,
It's
thinner.
impossibly.
Partly because it's got a curved bezel, really gives it even the appearance of slimness. This is smart. Apple, at least, they can't get the stream working, but at least they've been doing this social media stream, which really replaces the live blogs. And I think that they probably realized they were losing some attention to the live bloggers. So Apple is, in effect, live blogging its own event with the slides, with the graphics, and with the information.
And it's interesting. And these are unique graphics from what's actually being shown on screen.
These are the slides, yeah.
Well, but they've been redesigned for the web.
Oh, they are a little different.
They're white instead of black. They're different. They're set up differently. It's nice.
So they also say the iPhone 6 is 50% more energy efficient. Of course, it's pushing more pixels. I'll be interested. Apple traditionally has not attempted to do. Here we go. Some game partners has traditionally not tried to increase battery life, but just maintain status quo. It'd be nice to see an improved battery. I'd like to get it a little bit longer.
It's one of the best things about the iPad.
Right.
Fantastic battery.
Super evil Megacorp.
They changed the name.
Founder Steve Sherman. That is not Apple.
Oh.
Stefan Sherman, co-founder and chief creative officer of Super Evil Megacorp. Stefan?
Game developer, obviously.
Sim.
Good morning.
This is, of course, to show off the GPU speed. He's
The
going to show
multiplayer battle arena, perfected for
a
touch.
multiplayer battle arena.
With me is my co-founder, Tommy.
I have to say, the 5.5-inch size really
Small of size, but big of courage.
increases Apple's lead as a gaming platform, as a mobile gaming platform.
Hero with unique skills and abilities. For example, Petal here can plant seeds that she can sprout into little munions. Oh, and they
pretty good
also
looking.
like the disco. Petal looks right at home, but there is
I might have to do something other than field runners.
Let's take a look at the world of vainglory.
I feel like I should have
running
learned
real-time
Chinese in
on
college.
television.
Oh, I did.
Multiplayer battle arena gaming.
You know, her
is the
translation is
most
quite good as far
popular
as I can
game
tell.
genre in the world, enjoyed by tens of millions of players every day.
Nice. Wait a minute, that's a new sweater look
Yeah,
that
that's it.
I'm intrigued
Is
by.
it going around the back?
Now the rules are simple.
Or was it a
It's
scarf?
it's a cowl, it looked like. What do you think, Sarah? You're our fashion expert.
Oh, totally.
What the hell is that?
They call that an infinity scarf.
No, they
There's no beginning or end. It's true. It's an infinity scarf. I wear them all the time.
It's got reachability.
I've seen you wear them. I've never seen a guy wear them.
Oh, guys and girls are It's
It's
it's equal opportunity.
It's European.
New environment effects like dust particles and butterflies.
And he looks European.
New lighting effects.
Look how nice that
These
looks.
crystals
It looks
casting
great.
light.
On stage, it looks weird.
It looks a little Elizabethan.
All in
I'm waiting for a little ruff to emerge from his infinity scarf.
lurks the power.
Something must have been wrong with his collar because I don't see how you could actually want to.
Now, is he
look
on the
like
big
that.
one? It looks like he is. Boy, that phone does look good. You've got to admit.
That if captured by your team,
pretty
will fight
gorgeous.
on your side to help you destroy the enemy crystal. And I think that's exactly what Tommy has in mind. Uh-oh, looks like Tommy's opponents have the same idea.
Now, I've just
Now it's a
spent
fight for the Kraken.
many hours playing Diablo 3, and this looks good.
It's gorgeous.
I've killed 32,000 bad guys in Diablo
Wow.
3, according to
Nice.
the Xbox One stats.
Getting busy.
My 69 level voodoo war. I couldn't stay up. I was trying to get to level 70 before Destiny came out.
Now that the Kraken has been captured, time to push to the enemy base.
This does look good and very playable. I still have this control issue, and you know, Sarah Lane, I talk about this all the time. Of, these kinds of games.
Have you seen? There have been some people that have been
frustrate
building
you.
some of the external
Touch.
controls where you
Yeah, but you don't want to carry an external control.
want to carry it around.
looks
But I
like-
mean, if you're
This is a game like Diablo where touching the screen.
Gosh, that really does look thin, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Vainglory is our first game, and we can't wait for you to try it.
Looks great. It's interesting. They start with gaming, not productivity, not making phone calls, not texting or messaging. Productivity
Good game, Tommy.
is secondary on
Join us
the.
when
On
Vainglory
this is the
launches
opposite of
in the
productivity.
App Store
Yeah.
this fall.
There are a lot of people online saying all we care about is better battery life, though.
right.
I agree.
iPhone's
and-
already
and
pretty robust.
Right.
I
It is
don't,
a little tone
I
deaf
don't
on
know
Apple's
why.
side.
Yeah, they don't need to make it thinner every time.
love it when they
I had this
put the
fantasy
phone
this
on
morning
stage
that maybe
after
they'd make
nailing
the
the Kraken.
5.5 inch thicker.
Yeah.
Right.
And say, and by the way, 10 hour or 20 hour battery life or
Oh my
30 hour
gosh,
battery
that'd be
life.
amazing.
Sometimes it's tough to
I'm
remember
like constantly
sitting here
charging my
watching
battery.
on a 35-foot screen, just how incredible that is.
They're claiming better performance than next generation console.
So
They may be right.
display, thinner design,
But remember, it's a
incredible
smaller screen,
performance.
lower resolution.
Obviously, that impacts battery life.
Not 1080p.
Battery life.
Happy to tell you the team has worked hard to make the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus
Equal or better.
have equal or better battery life in every metric than the iPhone 5S.
Equal or better is kind of Apple's mantra in this regard. Better would be
Just
better
look at
and
some of
better
these
would be.
numbers. iPhone 6, 50 hours of audio playback.
Of course, these
11
numbers are really,
hours of
while
video.
Apple is fairly conservative, it's hard to tell what it's going to be like in your
The
pocket.
battery life is going to be mostly about your settings, what you got running.
When Skype is running full.
Looks like, I have to say though, it does look like at least 20% better performance on the Plus, which is what you'd hope with a bigger case. And in some cases, even more than that.
I have the feeling the Plus is a reference to the price.
Processor, a new generation.
300.
Pretty expensive.
And as you
You're
know,
saying 300?
300 under
processor
contract.
works
Can't be more than
along
that.
With offloading the work from your processor with all those great sensors in your phone.
So the motion coprocessor, this is much like what Apple or Motorola did with the X. And Apple did it last year with a separate processor that would monitor
cycling and you're walking, you're running.
motion without killing the battery, and that certainly helps battery life. I would hope that it would also, like the Moto X, be listening and do other things.
The phones have a new barometer sensor.
And for the first time,
Samsung's had
pressure.
a pressure
elevation as
sensor
well.
of some type.
Flights of stairs.
That is catch up, I should point out. And in fact,
We all
in
need to
many
run more
respects,
stairs.
what Apple will be doing
How
is
does
playing
it do
catch
it?
up because they don't iterate as fast.
Built in
Right.
iPhone 6 and 6 Plus.
And I don't think,
The barometer.
frankly, iPhone users care.
I don't think Apple cares. I think that they'll redo it in the way that they think is the best way to do it. You know,
Show up and
The-
things
they're
like
very rarely first to market.
The anti-Apple view is that they just follow and copy. The pro-Apple view is that they have perfect timing and they only come out with stuff when the market's
Or
ready.
they improved. It's much better for them to let everybody else fire into the darkness and then have them figure it out.
But it's hard to claim
So great new AA chip.
innovation by putting a barometer in your phone when it's been in every other phone or many other phones for a year.
There are some features that are essentially shopping. You pick what's there, and it's not that hard. Other things are truly innovative, like their Sapphire plant, which we still don't.
They did not mention Sapphire.
say the
I
S
do
word?
not believe they're using Sapphire. I think that was a false rumor.
Are they using? Does the new one or do our current phones support the new LTE?
Well, that's what he's saying right now.
Previously, that's the most
20
used
bands.
smartphone in the
Looks
world.
like they don't.
It means we're working now with over 200 carriers around the world. To
You want
support
one SKU for
LTE
everywhere, right?
On iPhone 6.
Yeah, because
iPhone 6 Plus.
I Have you seen the new? Is it called LTE-X or whatever that Verizon's doing? It's
300
in some
megabits.
cities. It's like crazy fast.
And this, by the way, they did not. They said 150. So it looks like
I believe we've lost our Mandarin. Isn't that nice?
Voice over LTE. That's something all the carriers want to do.
Voice and data.
Verizon started
We're working with a lot of carriers around the world. We're going to roll out support for VoLTE with iPhone 6 and iPhone 6
Again,
Plus.
that's something I think other phones.
There's also faster Wi-Fi in both of the products
Standard
as well.
calls over
802.11 AC, which is up to 3 times
AC,
faster than
that's good.
802.11n.
As good as it gets.
That's the new standard.
Per second. Now, if you
Yeah, you can be able to make phone calls
Wi-Fi
via Wi-Fi. That's cool.
in VoLTE,
All three
phone
carriers in
calls,
China.
actual phone calls to other people's phones.
Yes.
making
Via Wi-Fi.
calls over Wi-Fi using your standard cellular connection. So maybe at your office or your home, you don't have a great cellular reception, but you do have Wi-Fi. You can make a standard call.
We've only been waiting for that like 5 years.
It'll go out over Wi-Fi.
Again, T-Mobile's
But as
been
you
offering
leave
that
your
for
home
free.
and transition
I know.
onto the cellular network.
But now this is across all the networks.
Right.
You know, this is it's.
This is really cool technology.
If the carrier supports it, it's up to the carrier to support that.
I was going to talk about the
I think
camera.
Apple
This
usually
is-
kind of forces that down their throat.
Camera's going to be a
just
key
the
issue.
start of it. The first carriers working together with us on it are T-Mobile in the
Okay.
U.S. and EE in the UK.
So it's exactly the same.
Quickly over time. So great wireless capabilities. Perhaps
Now
to
we're getting
admit-
another language in the
feature of your
background.
iPhone
We are?
is the
Yeah.
camera. And there are great new cameras in both iPhone 6 and 6 Plus.
It's English.
And people love taking
There's an
photos
English
of their iPhone
subtitling?
for good reason.
It's an
Here's
echo of
example.
some kind.
I think it's the
National
BBC
Geographic
translation.
Yeah,
photographers
it's a
Jim
New
Ritchie
England
took
accent.
this
so
Converting from
I
American to
understand.
English.
Whoa, that's a nice looking picture.
Beautiful photos.
Look at the dynamic range, the darks to the lights.
And
At
he
the
and all
Galaxy,
of
that's
us
what
will
they're
take
trying to
even
show off
better
there.
photos with the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus because there's an all-new eyesight
8
camera in it.
megapixel front-facing
It's an 8
camera.
megapixel
That's
eyesight
good.
camera. It has Apple's innovative True Tone flash.
Well, wait a minute.
There's large 1.5
He's showing the back
micron
camera.
Wait,
pixels.
8 megapixel
Fast
eyesight
point
camera.
That's a
aperture,
step
but
down.
Most importantly, there's a new generation eyesight sensor in it to take
Well, this
better
is
photos.
interesting. So
It's
they're
packed with
going
some cool
the
technology.
HTC
Let me just tell
route
you
with
one.
the fewer
Called
megapixels,
focus
but the
pixels.
larger
They're-
microns.
What are
And
those?
that's-
Let's look
they're
inside.
better
That's the
than-
right way to
they're
go.
better
8
than
is
the right
plenty.
way.
8 is
Yep.
plenty. 4 is not enough in the HTC.
4 is not enough,
but
but-
8 is plenty.
Pitted pairs of focus pixels. And what they do, they have little shutters on them. They read the light coming in from
Yeah.
objects, and as the lens moves in and out, it can tell whether that object is in phase or out of phase. This is called phase detection autofocus. It's a
Again,
technology
something
used
some
by
phones have,
high-end
but
DSLRs.
it's
the
a
best
very
way
fast form
to
of
do
focus,
fast
very accurate.
autofocus. And now the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus have it, and they can focus almost twice as fast of the previous generation.
The previous
There's so
generation
many
used
more
in
things the
contrast
sensor can
instead of
do.
phase
Yeah, I
It
think
can
so,
take
and
beautiful
it was really
photos.
slow.
It has great new generation tone mapping. It has beautiful
Tone mapping
noise
gives you that
reduction.
HDR
It all adds up
capability, right?
to incredible photos. So let me show you a couple taken right with an iPhone 6 straight off the camera.
all
Well,
that
again,
really
with
matters.
a bigger 1.5 microns,
love
which is smaller than the
taking
HTC,
portrait
but that should
photos
give you much
with
better
their
low light.
iPhone.
Right?
This is a
Maybe.
great one. Exposure is beautiful.
Show
Bright
us light.
sunlight is not a great way to test
Really
this.
No,
lovely.
low light.
Everything's good in
Great
sunlight.
photo. Here's another portrait. He's smiling, if you can't tell.
It's kind of interesting
The skin
depth of field
tones
on
are
that.
perfect. You have to trust me on that. People also love taking macro photos.
The
There's a
S5,
beautiful one of a California
by the way,
monarch
is very
butterfly.
similar to that.
Anyone
Starting
know
to look
that's
good.
a female, if you couldn't tell.
Is that a macro? That's
And even
interesting.
landscapes with the wide-angle lens are just beautiful, particularly with the noise reduction for bluer skies without sacrificing
F2.2, it's not the
sharpness.
fastest lens.
It's not the same as the
And
5S?
everyone loves now
Yeah.
taking panoramas with their iPhone as well, and you take even bigger ones with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, up to 43 megapixel photos.
That actually doesn't look very
The
good.
new
There's like a big
generation
seam right there
gyroscope,
down there.
the stitching
Oh, I guess it
is now
does. I guess those are
seamless.
shadows or whatever.
Looks
And what
pretty
makes
darn
your
good.
photos great
I mean-
are three things.
I don't know.
It's the
I mean, look at-
$5
it
Yeah,
goes
it looks like there's
dark
columns there. It's a bad choice for.
It's the
I'm sure it's
image
good. It's just
Well,
that
there,
they,
I will say that that's one of the hardest things to shoot a pano of because you got water and you got
Right.
clouds. You got, those are the.
AA chip, and there's a whole new generation signal processor
So there-
inside
you know,
iPhone 6 and 6
There's a lot of
Plus.
things they could have done that were a lot
For
easier
example,
than
there's
that.
dedicated
Anytime you shoot
hardware
water with a
unlock
pano,
now
you're
to do advanced face
struggling.
detection.
Apple.com/live has these images themselves in a slightly larger form, so you can take a look if you want to get a sense of it. I don't know if they have EXIF information.
lose audio.
start out with 2 languages. Now we have none.
This is where Apple really shines, though, is in the camera, and
Yeah.
I feel like they should always look. You can continue to show the video if we have video. We had nothing. Image stabilization. It doesn't say optical image
the 6
stabilization.
has digital and the 6 Plus has optical.
Ah, another reason to buy the big one.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
They're gonna
Big
put
one
enough
seems
features.
really big.
Well, you can buy the little one.
I know. I'm just,
That's why we have choice.
I know you're going to ask me later.
Optical image
I'm
stabilization.
trying to decide.
The question is, when will these be
what's that?
available?
Yeah, really.
Let's look at the lens.
I think the
inside
focus
the
pixels
iPhone
and the
6
sensor
Plus.
are interesting.
Of
Now, Apple's
course,
not
it
made in
moves
the past its own
front to
sensors.
back
I'm
to
sure they're
focus,
not again.
as always.
Sony
But
made the
now it
sensors
can
in the
also move
past.
up and down and side to side. And we combine that with the
So
M8
that's optical,
and
right?
with the new gyroscope to automatically adjust and
mechanical
stabilize your
image
image
Wow.
when you're taking a photo.
That's a lot
This
in a
works
little
really
phone.
great,
That's all I have to
particularly
say.
in low light scenarios, we have to
Okay,
take
here's
a
low
longer
light.
exposure.
Focusing
Like this is
pixels are
taken in the
a
evening,
technology
and it's a
previously
very
found
sharp
only
photo
in
because of
professional
optical image
DSLRs,
stabilization.
according to Apple.
Weren't the rumors that the
We
camera
love
would stick
the
out a little
eyesight
bit because
cameras
And
in
it
our
does.
phones.
It has
They take
slight,
beautiful
slight
photos.
protuberance.
Because you need to do that
So it's no
to for the
surprise we don't see
stabilization
a
to
lot
work.
of these anymore, right? Dedicated cameras, small
8
point shoot
megapixels,
cameras,
15 micron
certainly not as
pixels,
fun, and increasingly we're
f2.2,
taking amazing photos directly off of our
image
iPhone.
stabilization,
What's interesting is
1080p HD
it's
video.
and
probably been a
phase
while since you've
focus
seen one of these as
built
well.
into the actual sensor.
Anyone remember what they're called? Camcorder. Yeah, camcorder. I think our parents used to use these.
4K video, yeah, you think?
People are
8K is enough, 8 megapixels is enough to do it.
Could. I don't know why you'd want to do that.
They're adding 60 frame per second support.
I would be more interested in high frame rate than,
Yeah.
than in
Anyone
high.
remember what they're
Also-
called? Camcorder.
They're also
Yeah, camcorder.
introducing slow
I think our
motion
parents
video at
used to
120
use these.
frames
240
per second,
frames.
or
I was going to say
240.
240 frames is what you want.
Yeah,
'Cause
they-
that's where you have a lot of fun. Is it at full res?
They
So
haven't
the
said.
6 Plus has optical image stabilization, but the 6 does not.
Right, there's more room in there for the
Right.
But that's
springs.
super
Well, yeah.
annoying for anybody who thinks of this as basically a camera that does other things.
Right.
You have to get the bigger one.
I think that Apple has done pretty well in the past without optical image stabilization.
No, I have to have it
I have a
now.
lot of.
Here is an
Blurry
example.
pictures.
This is a low light shot you were looking for using OIS
Looks
in
great.
the 6. That looks really good, and that is obviously a fairly dark. And by the way, very high dynamic range on that. I mean, there's a bright light behind the woman on the left. There's a lot of darkness in the lower right.
Yeah,
Alex,
look at
video.
that.
Slow
240
motion.
frames a second.
They're talking about cinematic video stabilization, which whatever that is.
Well, if you have OIS, can't you do it?
And
in
are they
video
doing it
as
full
well?
res? So it's full res at 240 frames? That's the question.
Capture slow-mo video at 120 or 240
240 at
frames per second,
720p.
but they
Wow.
don't say 720p. Well, that's plenty.
That is
Are
amazing.
they doing something like hyperlapse, do you think, where they're
No,
using
they-
sensors to...
They're capturing. I bet you they're capturing all the frames. It's just, because the thing is you don't have. All you have to do is just have a buffer that's able to pull that much in and be able to and draw it to the flash drive. With flash memory, it's a lot easier to do these kind of things. But the thing to remember is, for a long time, visual effects was basically limited to 320 frames a second before Phantoms, before all the digital buffering and so on and so forth. 240 frames per second in your camera is just, we're going to see so much. Like we've seen all these hyperlapses.
Yeah.
We're going to see so many cool, like people just playing with it.
So focus pixels let you do continuous automatic focus while you're shooting video.
That's great.
It's really cool.
So Anthony Nielsen, our technical director, working hard. It is not, we apologize, but the live stream is breaking up from Apple, partly because probably so many people are watching it. There's a lot of interest in this announcement. We are covering it live, the Apple announcements at Flint Center. So far, 2 new iPhones, a 4.7-inch and a 5.5-inch, as predicted. In fact, exactly as the rumors showed. No Sapphire, though, on the screen. And right now they're talking about the camera, and it's quite impressive. Burst mode that detects smiles and blinks, then recommends the best picture. Face detection far and near.
We're probably like 1 or 2 versions away from where you do burst mode, and it just gives you the best photo. Like it just, just automatically.
Well,
replaces
actually,
it.
a number of
Microsoft's
cameras
done
do that. Yeah.
But I'm saying it for Apple.
Oh, yeah. I know. I understand.
A little behind,
So we are having a lot of difficulty with the Apple Stream, as are others, and I know
Although-
people are tweeting it. And this is exactly why Apple didn't used to stream live video, because Twitter suddenly becomes all about, why can't you get the stream right, Apple, instead of, wow, look at that picture, look at that camera.
Paul Thurrott is having a really good time on Twitter about the feed problems, the live feed problems. He's
I
heckling.
think that's really kind of secondary to the whole thing. They say HDR video. Apple shares are up 2% as the product launch continues, and that's exactly what you expect. The shares will go down after the event. So
So he's going through iOS 8 stuff, including the health.
It'd be nice to hear about it.
It would be nice.
It's all right.
Would be nice. Would be nice.
Katie Boret reporting Apple's first mention of a QuickType predictive keyboard. So they are already onto keyboards now.
Sharing of audio messages, some of the stuff we heard at WWDC.
And, Paul and Storm have an image now of the Apple's live feed servers, and I think that you can see here that they are working as hard as they can. No, not that. My screen. The access denied. We don't know what that is.
That's what everybody's getting.
There they are. The Apple live feed servers. They're heating up right now. But that's the conversation on Twitter. It's all about the feed and access denied and so forth. I think really good news for camera buffs, but we knew that. Apple knows that is their number one feature really on the iPhone. Yep. I'm glad to see a big screen iPhone, and especially with that kind of gaming. It looks fabulous. They are now discussing health.
They're also announcing new cases, both silicone and leather, for you leather enthusiasts.
Yeah. Well, I'd expect that.
There are new cases for both phones.
Apple's realized this is a high margin.
6 colors.
Yeah, exactly. $1 that we sell for $30.
They've been given away, you know.
And this time, no awkward holes.
5 beautiful dies.
Baratunde Thurston tweets, frustrated by Apple's live stream problems, support the campaign for more STEM teachers.
Beautiful colors, gold,
Clearly America
silver,
needs
and
them.
space gray.
That's funny.
I think a quick call to Colleen Kelly could probably get this fixed in a heartbeat.
Well, if they chose to do something like YouTube, it would have been fine. But of course, you're not going to put Apple's not going to put something on Google.
$199.
That's the price with contract
Yes.
for the 4.7-inch.
That's
Correct.
And $399. I'm sorry, $300.
Now at $299.
Now I'm confused.
We've increased.
Okay, so this is as I predicted. It's $299 with contract.
$399 is going to be 128 as rumored.
You think not 64?
It's going to be
$399. All new configuration, 128 gigabytes.
128 gigs. So actually, that's a pretty competitive price.
Very competitive price.
To jump from 64 to 128 for $100.
iPhone 6 Plus also comes in gold, silver, and space gray. And it starts at just $299.
Availability?
Yeah, really, I heard a wow. You're right.
The Apple Store is closed. Wouldn't it be nice if they would sell this today?
So what they're saying is that the one we all want, most of us want, maybe Sarah wants, is $500 with a 2-year contract.
Right.
That's got to be some kind of record.
$400.
And you need new pants.
$499 for the iPhone 6 Plus.
And they complete our lineup. iPhone 5S. Yesterday, the most advanced smartphone in the world.
Free for the
It's now
5C.
starting at just $99.
$99 for the 5S.
5C in an 8-gig configuration.
Was the 5C free
Typical
before?
2-year carrier contract.
Pre-orders start Friday the 12th.
99 cents. Pre-orders
Next
Friday.
question. So when can we get them? We're going to start to ship them on September 19th.
It's as predicted. A week from Friday. This is true to Apple form. And you can order it Friday. So midnight Friday, I think.
I will be up.
Everybody should be on
In those countries, you'll be
Apple.com.
able to pre-order them.
And so for those
starting
people
this
currently
Friday
in line,
on the 12th. The team is working hard
got a ways to wait.
You got to wait till the 19th.
for
You brought
iPhone.
some
We're
water
gonna try
and
to be in 100
supplies.
I am definitely not going to the store.
115 countries by the end of the year, but you saw about a dozen countries will be able to pre-order. So that's good. Apple's really improved the ability to get these phones out into a larger market.
Here you see the list of all the devices that are supported with iOS 8. Huge number of devices.
I'm dying to know what the
All
unlock
these
price is for the
customers will be able
iPhone
to
6 Plus
download
with
for
128.
free
It's gotta be
iOS
1,000.
8
See,
on
at
September
least.
17th.
Man.
He briefly mentioned Health App Predict. We didn't see it in the stream, but this is what you missed. The Health App, a predictive keyboard that learns your conversation style. Add voice, video, and location to any message. iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, of course, come with iOS 8. Single-shot HDR. Burst selfies. There's a term I'm not sure I want to hear
Get
again.
an idea of just how amazing the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 really are.
Tim
How they're
Cook
the
back on
best
stage.
phones you've ever seen. But a great product isn't just a collection of features. It's how it all works together, how it makes you feel. These products,
We laugh, but that really
No,
is,
it is.
that emotional thing is what Apple does so
and
well.
they're amazing, but they're much better in every single way.
Makes me feel $500
And to
poorer.
make this point clear, we've enlisted the help of a couple of our friends.
Here comes
to
the
do
music.
Some fun new ads.
Oh,
and I'd love to
ads.
share one of those with you right
And
now.
we're going to watch some ads. So again, there are new iPhones. The iPhone 6 at 4.7 inches is a 755p screen, starting at $199 with contract. The iPhone 6 Plus, 400 pixels per inch, 1080p screen at 5.5 inches. And it's pricey. It starts at $299 with a 2-year contract for the 64 gig version.
Does anybody know who they
$500
are?
for 128 gig version.
Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon.
That's who was doing the
These guys are
acapella.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money for that dumb.
This
But
is-
turns out
That was
they
really
got the
dumb,
money.
dumb.
You know,
That's
we could
One of the weirdest keynotes I've seen
We
in
could have done that.
quite a while.
Slow-mo video, 240 frames per second, but that's and what we decided 720p. Yeah, but that's great. In fact, that's the one thing my son wants with an iPhone is slow motion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I love
What
that
do you
kind of
think?
stuff.
Yeah,
Do you like them?
yeah, we like them. Yeah, Tim actually taking a little victory lap there.
Do you know who they are?
Yes, Jimmy, we know because you said.
Does anybody know who they
Yeah,
are?
and double
Jimmy
streams.
Fallon and Justin Timberlake. Well, let me see if I'm.
Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon. These guys are incredibly fun to work
If we
with.
could only get stock prices this
Oh,
way,
my
I'd be
They do it in
Here's
Mandarin.
another one.
another ad.
This is the iPhone 6, and this is the iPhone 6
Now,
Plus.
you recognize
They come
Jimmy
with
and
a thing
Justin
called
there.
Health, so they can help you track a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
today, I walked 3.8 miles.
Well, I ran 4.2 miles.
Well, I climbed 11 flights of stairs.
Well, I drank a smoothie that had 362 calories in it.
Well, I had a funnel cake that had 1,230 calories in it.
You know that's not good, right?
It was good.
I think that's smart.
It's good.
Jimmy and Justin.
If that's their new,
smart.
if that's their new pair for the next round, it's going to be a lot of fun.
You couldn't do better.
Yeah.
I'm an iPhone 6.
Young,
I'm an
hip.
iPhone 6 Plus.
Even us old people like them.
Yeah.
They're just nice boys.
And now I'd like to talk
Good kids.
about an entirely new category of service.
Here we go.
Service. This is
And
payments.
It's all about the wallet.
Yeah. This, of course, rumored as well.
Mostly their wallet.
Yeah, their wallet.
Hey, can
And,
I can I do my long bomb prediction?
Yeah.
Within 5 years, Apple will have its own bank.
And this business is
Saves them a lot of money.
You know, in a way, Google does.
But I mean, like they will be a bank. Like they will, because the thing is they've got so much. They have so many credit cards, so many people. If they can, how many of us would just put our money into the Apple Bank over Bank of America or over whatever?
Yeah.
Looks something like
Yeah.
this.
But with no lending, just processing
Yeah.
and savings.
So we're going to get a demo of how to pay with your
Called
iPhone.
iSpend.
Wait, this is okay. Oh, she's showing how to pay with a credit card.
Back in the old days, we used to use plastic.
Boy, this is so much work, and I wish
my
there was
wrist.
some way I could
My wrist.
eliminate having to pull out credit cards. And,
The store should have been Target or Home Depot.
yeah, wouldn't that be funny?
That would have driven the point home.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a lot of work. How can we simplify that?
Now this
It's not like you do that 15 times a day.
You do it a lot. It's a real pain in the neck.
on this little
I hate cards.
plastic.
All right.
And whether it's a credit or a debit card, we're totally reliant on the exposed numbers.
Apple posting on their website, wallet,
outdated
your
and
days are
vulnerable
numbered.
Magnetic stripe interface.
And there, a picture of a
Which, by the way,
Costanza.
is 5 decades old. And the security codes, which all of us know aren't so secure. It's
I
so
wouldn't
easy
talk
to lose
too
your
much about
card
security at this point.
or have it compromised. It's no wonder that people
They had this
dream
so
of
practiced, though.
replacing the
I mean,
year.
last week was just, they're just going to keep barreling
Just
through
barrel
like it
through.
never happened.
I think you're probably right. Jenna Wortham
The
getting
New
a
York
little
Times
plug
said
there.
it best.
It
A
worked.
truly mobile wallet has long been
That's why
described as
Tim
imminent,
Cook addressed it
but
last week, so
remains
that
elusive.
as far as they're concerned,
Most
they're
have
done
been a
with that.
Right.
disappointment or have
Yeah, he
not
gave an
yet
interview to the
worked
Wall
well
Street
enough for
Journal in which he
mainstream
came as
adoption.
close to apologizing as they're going to comment.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not going to die. And as soon as, the articles will come out today saying Apple wants you to trust them with your money. Do you? And I think real people are going to have to.
Instead
I still
of
wonder.
focusing on the
I have to
user
admit, it's-
experience.
the timing of that leak
We
of
love
those
this
things is
kind
very
of problem.
interesting.
This is exactly what Apple
It couldn't be
does
worse unless
best.
they came out
I'm
today.
just saying, it'd be hard to do that by
So
accident.
we've created
It's called Apple Pay.
an entirely new payment process.
Oh, he's
And we
whispering.
call it Apple Pay.
Apple Pay.
Or
Great
Pay
if Apple
Apple.
started paying for us.
Should call
They've
it
got
Pay
the money.
Apple.
Now remember, Google Wallet's been out for a while, and
And I'd
Verizon
like
and other
to show
carriers
you
refuse
just
to let
how
it be
fast
installed
and
because
just how
they have their own
easy it is.
the wallet formerly known as ISIS.
I still have it on my phone. I'm like, ooh,
They
that
have
was a bad
renamed it,
idea.
but they're going to have to update it, and because they want to control it too.
That's it.
So there's NFC.
There was no PIN.
No. Put your thumb up to
It's
it.
Touch ID.
Touch ID.
That is the area Apple really does
Would
have
you
it.
like to see it one more time, just in case you may have blinked and missed it?
Actually,
Remember-
I did miss it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see it one more time. Yeah, she's using a Touch ID.
So that's NFC with Touch
It is
ID.
so
With Bank of
cool.
America in that case.
I can see that taking over if merchants will install these devices.
Love it.
And I think people aren't going to worry about security. Your
Apple
card is
Pay,
insecure.
and to
They know
tell you
that.
More about it.
Card is horribly insecure. Every time I hand it to
I
somebody,
don't really
I'm
need my
like, "Oh, here we go."
coin now.
Yeah. That's $55 you're never going to see again. Nice pink
Wow.
shirt. Boy,
Thanks,
Boy,
Tim.
that
It's
really-
Eddie
great to be
Q
here
taking the
this morning.
stage.
Now, Apple Pay is built into every iPhone 6.
Oh, boy.
That's a manly
And
statement.
he clearly untucked it at the last minute.
Yeah, it's a little wrinkly.
Where's
Like he
his-
had it
A
tucked
little.
in.
Where's his fluorescent green infinity scarf?
That is-
For all contactless
Yeah,
payments.
it's
you also
he looks
have
like he should be on like Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie Q here with a new wallet. Ladies.
Are you tired of pulling out that?
Groundbreaking NFC radio antenna built
Jesus,
across
Eddie.
the top. Now, NFC
There's only
is
like
standard
10 million people
for
watching.
all contactless
He should be in the
payments.
Four
Now,
Seasons.
you also have the convenience and security of Touch ID. And we've got a new chip called the Secure Element. And it's built into every iPhone 6, and it stores all of your payment information encrypted and securely.
All right, so they have an encrypted store.
You can also see
This
all
is
of
something
your credit
Apple's
cards
done
on
very
password.
well
Yeah.
already.
Now, Apple Pay is easy, it's secure, and it's private.
And truthfully,
Let's get started with
people
how easy it is. Now, we have
should
hundreds
celebrate
of
that. That's a
millions
lot
of
more
credit
secure than
cards
even a
debit
chip and
cards
pin system.
Oh,
That is
absolutely.
absolutely the way to
store
go.
accounts.
And Apple
They
will
get a new
own
iPhone
this.
6, they can just say, use the card on file. But it's also easy to add a new card. You use your iPhone EyeSight camera,
Oh,
we take a picture of the card, gather all the information.
that's great. No more
of your
entering in
bank,
numbers.
And verify that that's your card, and we add it right to Passbook.
So it's not just an encrypted memory. It is stored in a separate area.
Right.
Where even Apple has no
And
access.
now, with just a touch, you've paid.
And
It's that fast.
as Steve
it's
Gibson
that
will
easy.
observe, I'm sure,
Now, we've also
he's
integrated
coming up later this
security
afternoon, and I'm
throughout
sure he's
both the
watching
hardware
right
and
now.
software
Apple
in a
has
way that
started
only
that
Apple
with
can.
iPhone
So when you
5
add a
and
new credit
iOS
card,
7, and
we
they
don't
are
store
now
the credit card number,
capitalizing
and we don't
on it.
give it
They're
to the
cashing
merchant.
it.
Yep.
It says here you can
Create the
disable
device
its ability to
with the
charge if
account
you
number.
lose your phone or
And we
whatever.
store it safely in the secure element.
I'd love to know more about
And
this
each
secure
time
element.
you pay, we use a one-time payment number
Oh, even
along with a
better.
dynamic security code.
That's
So
fantastic.
You no longer have the static
Yeah.
code in the back of your plastic card.
That's fantastic.
And if your iPhone is lost or stolen, you can use Find My iPhone.
So even the store can't reuse that
Suspend
number,
all
that
of the
charge.
payments
A
on that
restaurant
device.
can't.
And again, because
It's
the
one
credit
time
card is
only and a
stolen,
one time.
Tokenization,
there's
This
no
is
need to
fabulous.
cancel
Yeah.
your credit card.
This is
This is what everybody wants.
exactly what people were looking for.
This is what kills cash.
Yeah.
Except for, buying cocaine. I wouldn't do that with my phone.
Oh, you can do that over Venmo now.
Oh, you can.
Okay, oh, very good.
And the cashier doesn't get to see your name,
This is
credit card
exactly
number, or
what people
security
want.
code like they do today when you hand them a plastic card. So Apple Pay.
When you add a
it's
card to
fast,
Passbook, its
it's
number is
secure,
never
more
stored
than
or
80%
shared on your
of all
device
credit
or
cards
Apple
in the
servers.
US
It's unique.
With credit cards and debit cards from the three major networks, American
We
Express,
had heard this rumor, and
MasterCard,
that is
Visa.
true.
And this is, and all the other ones, you're
We've got
dead.
the sixth
Like if you don't,
biggest
right,
issuing
if you don't
banks
sort
in
that
the
out.
US,
All the banks.
along with a few more, they add up for more than 80% of all credit card volume in the U.S.
Oh, boy.
And we'll keep adding even
This
more
is a
banks.
big play on Apple's
It
part.
is.
This is perhaps more important from Apple's
over
point of view than anything else.
220,000
Absolutely.
merchant
Yep.
locations that accept contactless
It will
payments today.
require, though, a
But
5S
we've
or
been
later,
working with some
at
of the
least.
largest
and maybe
retailers
a
to
6.
enable Apple Pay.
So it does sell phones too.
And when people are saying this is no different than Google Wallet, Apple just has more market
Significantly
size.
different.
You know, the thing is, it doesn't matter. I mean,
It's significantly
Adding
different.
Apple Pay to its drive-thru.
Do you trust Android with your credit card number? Where is its secured element?
Yeah.
right.
No, this is a significant difference.
And this is Apple's advantage of coming in second.
Yeah,
The healthiest
that's right.
You know, they look at it, they go, okay, well, this is what it's missing, and then they add it.
Yeah.
So McDonald's already had a tap to pay, but Whole Foods has added it now.
And our
And
own
Subway.
Apple
We believe
retail
Nordstrom.
stores.
Apple retail stores, of course.
Better.
Rumor was they were negotiating with Nordstrom, but don't see that.
And Disney, the happiest
course
place
Disney.
on earth.
This is one
It is
of
a pretty
the
happy place.
scoops that Mark Gurman had
All of
about
their
Disney
stores
upgrading their
and Disney
systems
World
for this.
in time for Christmas.
Makes me want to buy an iPhone 6
that's
and go to
just
Disney.
some of
Yeah.
the many retailers that are
Sephora,
adding
Macy's,
Apple Pay
Panera,
in all of their
Walgreens,
locations.
Staples, Toys R Us.
But what about online?
That's huge.
We want to make online purchasing just as fast, more secure.
This is even more
Yeah.
important.
This is the play
There's
against
over $1
Amazon.
billion
Amazon's
a day spent on
owns
online
these,
purchasing.
right?
That's 5 million daily transactions just in the U.S. alone. And the process is really cumbersome. You got these long forms to fill out for each and
man.
every app that you shop in. Well, with Apple Pay, one-touch checkout. There's no need to enter your credit card, your expiration date, your security code. You don't even have to enter your shipping or billing address. And none of your credit card information is shared with the merchant. We use the one-time payment number out of the secure element. And we've been working with some
Now,
great retailers.
some
Do I
merchants
have to buy on the
to
phone?
enable Apple Pay into their shopping app. So,
So
I
presumably,
don't know about you,
Sarah,
but I'm looking
iPads
for
will
some
have
Beats
all of these
headphones.
features as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's
With that,
Beats,
and
first
that's
appearance of
just
Beats
checkout
on the
with a
stage.
touch.
Maybe that's why we get some sort of an
Credit
iPad
card
refresh
and the
announcement
shipping
today,
address,
because you have
and
to
now,
bring
with
the
one touch,
iPad
I
line
bought
into
it.
this.
That's
Right.
simple.
Now with secure element.
Now we're adding Groupon. Groupon is a leader
Groupon.
of
Oh, everybody loves Groupon.
incorporating
Really?
Apple Pay
No.
right
No.
into their app.
I thought-
So
in
now you
fact,
can see a
I'm
new
surprised to
deal
hear they're still
buy it
around.
with
I know.
just a touch.
Yeah, they're still around.
Got a new feature
They do
called
hourly
Buy
deals now.
so you
Yeah.
can
They were
request a
just
car
saved
using
right before our
Apple Pay
eyes.
without the need to create an account at all.
Right.
Panera. Let's
Now, how
order
does
your
this work
favorite
on your
sandwich or
desktop?
salad
Or do you-
and
or
have
is
it
this
ready
at the
for
end of the
pickup
desktop?
with just a touch.
All your e-commerce
Yeah,
now is
yeah,
mobile,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I've ordered a lot of stuff on my
Tickets right
phone.
in their app with Apple Pay.
Uber supports it.
Our
Major
Apple
League
Store,
Baseball.
where you can buy all of our
Apple
But
support.
Uber is already
Mobile
pretty,
table.
it's pretty frictionless. I mean, I use
Yeah.
Uber probably 2 or 3 times
Uber
a
has
week.
uses
Use
its own
OpenTable to
backend.
make dinner reservations. But in participating restaurants, you're going to be able to use Apple Pay.
With Open Table?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Yum.
Love that.
Yep.
That is a big security
Our
issue,
Apple
is handing
stores
your
where you
credit
buy
card to
all
somebody
of
who
our
wanders
latest
off.
products.
Yep. Oh, man, and just be able to walk away.
Yeah.
OpenTable. Now, you use OpenTable to make dinner reservations. But in participating restaurants, you're going to be able to use Apple Pay in the OpenTable app to pay for your check.
You're watching
Carly,
live coverage of the Apple
Very
iPhone
few
announcement at the
participating
Flint Center.
restaurants in this right now,
In
but
Open Table or in the pay?
for the auto
And that's
pay.
just some of the
But-
many
But I have to admit,
apps
that would
operating
I would
But you
search
got to
by
start
that.
somewhere.
I feel
Absolutely.
like Square might have
New
exited
Apple
this
Pay
space
API
at
that's
the
going to be available
right
to
time.
all
Yeah, no
developers.
kidding.
So we can
Apple
expect
Pay
a lot
API.
more apps. Apple Pay. It comes with every iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. We're launching in the U.S. starting next month.
Requires a
It'll be
6
available
or
as a free
6 Plus.
update to iOS 8. And we're working hard to bring Apple.
Now, he said available as an update to iOS 8. Oh, I see. Next month. So you won't get it if you get an iPhone 6 now. We've lost audio once again from the stream. We'll get it back as quickly as we can. This is not our fault, and I apologize, but Apple's been having
one
a
more
lot of
reason
difficulty.
that iPhone 6
Cook back.
and iPhone 6 Plus are the biggest advancement in the history of iPhone. Now,
One more thing.
we've
Well,
really
I
gone
think
through
we've got
enough
many
to call
more
it a
things.
day.
I think.
You've seen iPhone 6 and iPhone 6.
He did drop it though.
They're absolutely
You
incredible.
know, they didn't.
and
They
a whole
touched on
new
HealthKit
category of
very
service with
briefly.
Apple
They really
Pay.
did.
It's going
But
to be
we're
an
not quite
iWatch thing.
finished
Yeah,
yet.
they're gonna
Here we
bring.
go.
We have one more thing.
And you nailed it, Mike. And the crowd goes
They stole that from Xiaomi, I think.
They haven't done one more thing since
know.
Steve left,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I'm really glad to see it back. A little tip of the hat to Steve Jobs, and Tim Cook knows it.
We love to make great products that really enrich people's lives. We love to integrate hardware.
My wallet's already
software, and
vibrating.
services.
It's like there's smoke.
Excited.
There's like smoke.
We love to make
If I have to leave, it's just because I burned myself.
personal and allow our users to do things that they could never have imagined. We've been working incredibly hard for a long time on an entirely new product. And we believe this product will redefine what people expect from its category. I am so excited.
Look at this one.
Oh! No!
Next chapter in Apple's story. And here it is.
All right, this is it. We find out. This is your iPhone moment, your iPad moment. New product from Apple.
Spaceship Campus.
Yeah, it looks like Coruscant.
What are we seeing?
It's round. It's got sensors.
What are we seeing? Holy
It's got a
moly,
focus
it's got a
zoom button.
stem. It is square.
There's a square one and a round one.
Wow.
Nice band. There's the that snaps on so you can change bands easily. That is something every watch should do. That's marvelous. Very nice band too. Oh, with a magnet. It's got a magnet.
And you've got a girly band and a manly band.
And they snap on and off, so you can change your band at a whim. I do want to see a round one though. Sapphire. There's the Sapphire, by the way.
Yeah, they just
All gold for me.
Boy, is that sick.
They just
moly.
whooped the market.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. That is not looking much better than an Android Wear watch. 18 karat gold, sapphire crystal.
I see the bottom is round. It's only a square. It's only rectangular.
Yeah, it's looked like 4 sensors on the bottom there. Those would be likely for pulse. Colored bands can snap off. You know, wear a colored band in the daytime.
It looks like
snap on the metal band.
Looks like it's a ½ an inch thick.
It looks really thick, I
It's
have to say.
nice and rounded, but
and by the way, the real key on that is where the band joins the watch. The closer it does to your wrist, the better it's going to feel. And that, frankly, is a little high on the watch. So there you have it. There is an iWatch. It's called
It's
Apple
called the
Watch.
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. The Apple logo.
So I guess they're getting rid of the
followed by
eye.
word Watch.
Are they?
No eyes.
Are they starting to work away from the eye?
Yeah. Well, they still have an iPhone. And Tim's wearing it. He's
Standing O. Okay.
Yeah, well, new product is always exciting.
Sure.
we've been waiting for this for about 45 years, I think. Feels like.
It feels like it. So all the rumors were true. Apple is doing a watch. It's called the Apple Watch. It is square. It is thick. Interchangeable band, sapphire crystal. Looks like health sensors on the back, probably a pulse meter.
Apple Watch is the most personal device we've ever created. We set out to make the best watch in the world. One that is precise. It's synchronized with the Universal Time Standard, and it's accurate within plus or minus 50 milliseconds.
So it's an atomic watch, a radio watch.
This is
It's
the first
incredibly
iconic product ever not announced by Steve
So
Jobs.
you can find one that reflects your
That's how
personal
significant
style
this
and
is.
taste.
Yeah. It's been 4 years.
Because you wear it, we invented new, intimate ways to connect and
I don't know how to use
communicate
that word.
directly from your wrist. And it works seamlessly with iPhone. And it's also a comprehensive health and fitness device. Now, Apple Watch took very deep thinking, and out of this came some truly remarkable innovations. And one of those was the user interface.
Little icons all over
Turns
the screen.
out, with
that
every
is a
revolutionary
terrible user
product
interface.
that Apple has created,
Please tell me no.
It's
a
like the
breakthrough
game
in user
app.
interface
Whoa.
is required.
What in the heck?
With the Mac,
You need like
We
a
introduced
baby
the mouse
pinky.
to make navigation so simple on a personal computer. The click wheel on the iPod allowed users to scroll through thousands of songs in the palm of their hand. And with iPhone, multi-touch gave us the ability to interact with a beautiful canvas of photos or videos or music or all of the information that we use every day. The Apple Watch required the same kind of careful, deliberate consideration. What we didn't do was take the iPhone and shrink the user interface and strap it on your wrist.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
The display is too small and it would be a terrible customer experience. For example, if you take a gesture like pinch to zoom, it covers the content, it obstructs your
So you're going
view.
to do that with the little dial.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the dial. Huh?
And so we placed extra functionality in a mechanism that's been on the watch for decades. It's this dial. It's called a crown. And on the Apple Watch, it's called a digital crown. The digital crown includes infrared
they've got a home
LEDs
button
and photodiodes that translate rotary movement into digital data. Now, you don't need to understand all of that, but it's a very simple
worry your pretty
and
little heads
elegant
about all
and
that.
amazing
The watch doesn't look that
input
big
and
on
navigation device.
Tim's wrist, and
Let me give you an example.
we've made a mock-up
Here's back to
Right.
the
of the
map.
actual size, and it's
When
not
you
that big. In
turn
fact,
the
even on your
digital
wrist,
crown,
Sarah, I don't think it's
it zooms in and
it's
out.
horrible, but it's about the same
when you
size,
have a
maybe a little
list.
smaller than the Android Wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can scroll through the list.
You could draw a
and
watch
you
on
can
that,
do
Sarah, and
all
save
of
a ton of
this
money.
without
So this is
blocking the screen.
so there's no touch screen, so they do save
And if you're within an app like
thickness
the clock
and money
app
on
as an
that,
example,
and make
Well,
they
I,
can
I,
make
I
screen
think
with
there
that.
is a touch screen. I think
Is
it
there?
Yeah.
it
I think
returns
they're just
to the
sounds
home
like you're
screen
doing
it
just
using the
as you would
crown.
expect it to.
I can't believe he's getting applause for that, but okay.
By the way, the rumor said there were going to be 2 sizes and 4 colors for 8 options, but so
Apple
far we've
Watch,
seen
of
only
course,
one
is made
size.
to be worn, and it can be
I
worn
should hope
all
so.
day for any occasion. It's as much about personal technology as it is style and taste. It seamlessly combines materials and software and technology. And we thought not only of the function, but of the way it looked. Apple Watch has an amazing and rich design story. And we prepared a video of that this morning that Johnny Ive narrates.
We made it this morning.
I have to
There
say,
is
at
no
this
one
point,
better to tell the
I'm
story
underwhelmed.
than Johnny.
I think they
And I
haven't
would like
solved
to
some of
run
the
it
problems
for
with
you now.
wearables. We'll watch the video.
You know, it's driven Apple from the beginning.
We go to the White Room, where Johnny Ive has been living for the last
to take incredibly
He's chained with a
powerful
white
technology and make it accessible, relevant, and ultimately personal.
It's the thinnest watch
We've
ever
designed
made.
a range of products so personal, you don't put them on your desk or in your pocket. You wear them on your wrist.
I think there's some nice design elements.
But to your point, Leo,
Apple Watch
what the Android Wear and other watches are doing is they're allowing it to be big and bulky.
Yeah.
And we thought Apple would do something revolutionary in that realm, but they haven't.
And this interface particularly, I think, is
We're introducing an
I'm sure it's powerful, but
can we turn up innovation combined with a design that connects with the wearer at an intimate level to both embrace individuality and inspire desire. The watch senses that you're raising your wrist and then activates the display. You see an organization of apps that,
Saves a
while
lot of
new,
energy.
is somehow familiar. Navigation is fluid and vital.
with
butterfly
touch or
Magnifying content on a small display is fundamentally important. So we've developed a whole new interface specific to the challenges associated with a product this small. The digital crown is a remarkable input device. It fluidly zooms into apps. It enables nimble, precise adjustment. And critically, you can use it without obstructing the display. It's also the home button. Apps are designed for lightweight interaction. Smart replies and dictation let you respond quickly to messages. Glances let you swipe through information efficiently.
It's very much like
pressing the button below
maybe
the
there is
digital
only one way
crown
to do this.
instantly shows you friends you can contact in just seconds.
I have to say,
I mean, it really is a new iPod.
We've developed an entire
You know, in every way, that's what this is.
Like a Nano.
It's just.
It's a really
Yeah,
nice
I mean,
design
they've
for
marketed
it.
it differently, but that's what it is.
You can send a quick sketch, or you can even share something as personal
must be touch.
as your own heartbeat. These are
Must be a
subtle
very
ways
high-res
to
screen,
communicate.
too.
He just said, I
Technology
think he just said
often
you can send your
inhibits
heartbeat.
rather
Yeah.
than enables.
Yeah. So here's my heartbeat. Oh, isn't that neat? It's beating according to my.
These apps all take
that's what I want to do with
advantage
my
of the
girlfriend.
flexible Retina display.
Retina.
It's been
a Retina display.
laminated to a machined
This is
and polished
one advantage
single crystal of
they have.
sapphire. That's the
Because
second
all of the
hardest
existing watches are
transparent
fairly low
material
res.
Yeah.
after diamond.
The interface and software
In
seems
addition to
significantly
the
more
digital
advanced
crown,
than Android Wear, I
we've
think.
had
More
to
complex.
invent other input technologies designed specifically for a product this small.
I'm sure you want it more.
So as well as sensing touch, the display also senses force, quite literally
bigger.
adding a new dimension to the user interface.
Exactly the same size as my Android.
Tiny electrodes around the display recognize the difference between
So
a tap
what we're looking at,
38.
and a
We're talking about
press.
touch sensitivity as well.
all the,
Level of touch.
But a beautiful metal case. I mean, that case does look.
well, everything looks beautiful, but
It's a
all
very
this is
nice
CGI.
render.
We
Right.
haven't seen the.
It's a lovely render.
Yeah.
For the first time, and with great intention, we've designed not only what you see,
TWiT will be
but
intriguing
also
here.
what you
This is
hear
a
and
challenge.
feel.
It's a small screen.
We've developed.
I'm kind of curious how the incoming call works. Like, does it have to work with your phone?
It
Does
looks
it
like
have
you're talking to the
to
watch.
complement your interactions.
It's haptic.
This taptic engine, combined with the audio feedback from our ultra-resistant speaker, creates a discreet and nuanced experience.
You can
Wait,
It
control
looked like
the
it was. Was that a
camera.
FaceTime?
Is a custom-designed chip
that's it.
that integrates many subsystems
the camera
into
coming
one
from?
remarkably
It's gotta be the
compact
phone.
module, which is then completely
Being able to
encapsulated
being able to set up and do a selfie
with your watch.
with your watch.
Yeah.
essentially
That's hot.
miniaturizing
You can do
the
that on
entire
Android Wear,
computer system
with the
onto
app.
a single chip.
But
The
missed
zirconia
my watch.
back
Here we
has
go,
4
sensors.
sapphire lenses. Infrared and visible light LEDs, along with photosensors, detect your pulse rate.
Yeah, this is a
Using
well-known
its
technology.
gyroscope and accelerometer,
The problem with it is
and
you
the
can't
GPS and
move.
Wi-Fi from your iPhone, the watch provides a comprehensive picture of your daily activity.
So these kinds of pulse rate
This
monitors
allows
are
So they're
not
different
good for
size watches.
exercise.
suggest goals and reward fitness milestones.
you don't think it's good for exercise?
You can't move with that kind of
The
pulse
back
rate
crystal
measurement. You-
also
it has-
houses a unique charging
What it's doing is
cell
bouncing light
that
off of your
combines our MagSafe
veins.
technology with
You have to
inductive
stop
charging.
and
You have to stop and hold
There's the
still.
charger.
Sealed,
Yeah.
it requires no alignment or exposed contact.
Wireless charger. That's nice. It looks like a stethoscope.
Apple Watch is incredibly accurate. It uses
It's interesting.
multiple
They're pushing
technologies,
accuracy.
keeping time.
It's
to
a trivial
plus or
feature.
minus.
Everything has
Yeah.
it now because it's all tied to your phone.
We have worked closely with horological experts from around the world to help us understand the cultural and historical significance of timekeeping. And this
Looks like there are going to be
has
3 different
profoundly
sizes of watches.
informed our design.
Odd that they haven't mentioned.
We know
What
that
this
wearing
is a
something
very early
all day,
prototype.
every day, becomes as much
Yeah,
about
literally no
personal
one has seen
preference
this,
and
outside of
self-expression
Apple.
as functionality.
Even the, according to Mark Gurman, even the
Designed a range
companies
of
that have the early
Don't have
API,
this.
they haven't
Yeah.
seen the actual hardware.
There may only be a few. I think there probably are.
We can only find the bar where they're
they're leaving them behind. It's a gorgeous screen. I mean, but again, this is a rendering. This is not.
And their capability.
I mean, I think it's reasonable to assume, even though we're seeing CGI here,
way
that
beyond
this is
the
going to be
interface.
really nice looking. We don't know about the battery life and all that, but it's probably going to. The screen is probably going to be really
different straps and a mechanism that makes
I
the
do like
straps
that.
easily interchangeable.
I really do
with
like
a
that.
refinement and precision that's born of
easy to,
functionality.
if you're going to go running, to swap, get rid of the metal one and
The
put in the
Sport
rubber one.
Band, in a range of bold colors, is made from a tough, durable, sweat and chemical resistant, high performance elastomer.
Translation: it won't
The leather
make you
loop
allergic.
comes in a soft,
Hate that color.
quilted leather
Quilted
that
leather.
conceals magnets for fastening and
I do
adjustment.
like that.
That one's cool.
That's cool.
Use
Yeah.
traditional leather, but in a new sports context that's designed.
Look,
for
Apple has
optimal
the
comfort.
best design team in the world,
Right.
and I'd expect stuff like
The
this. I mean,
supple, handcrafted leather modern buckle closes.
but to me,
with a
I'm more
solid
interested in the
metal
UI,
clasp
the
and wrapped
computer
symmetrically
technology
around
in
the
it.
wrist.
Boy, it sure looks thick. And again,
simple
look where the
leather
band
classic
joins the
buckle
watch. It's very high,
is
which means it's going to feel like a
traditional
bump
watch
on your
course I don't.
arm.
If you look at
And the stainless
Why not?
steel
You think
link
of that.
bracelet as a slim deployment clasp that is contained.
But you have a very
within
manly
a
wrist,
2.6
so that's
Right,
millimeter
exactly.
band.
part of the market.
This is nice. This is very nice.
The Milanese loop is crafted
this is
from
also
a
beautiful.
fluid, flexible stainless steel mesh.
This is the
with a
fashion that
magnetic
we've been hearing
closure
about. This is
that
the,
has an elegant simplicity.
but you
and
know,
is infinitely
ultimately,
adjustable.
the watch has to work. I think maybe not.
Of
It does, but it definitely has to look good too. You can't look like a
for
geek.
everyone. So
You know,
we
wearing
also developed a smaller watch with matching smaller
Another size,
straps.
smaller watch for you, Sarah Lane.
From different cases and strengths.
Yeah, this is the interesting part. How small is small?
Distinct collections.
So we have three now.
The
Sport.
first Apple Watch features a polished case made from a custom alloy of stainless steel.
This is where you get the price differential as well. I'm sure edition is expensive. I'd love to see a round one. Can they do round?
That'd be nice.
See, I think the square actually looks better on a wrist.
Okay. We'll get used to it.
I mean, that's this one that you're wearing now or anything that's made by. I just think
The Sport
it looks
collection
nicer on a
has
wrist.
an ion exchange cover glass and an anodized aluminium case
Aluminium.
that is 60% stronger than standard alloys, and yet it's incredibly light and durable.
Who's going to
Apple
wear
Watch
that neon
Edition
yellow one?
Is made from 18 karat gold
Sporty
that
people.
our
Sporty
metallurgists
people?
People who would wear a pink
developed to
shirt.
be up
This is
to
made of
twice as
gold.
hard as
18
standard gold.
karat gold.
Yeah, they're really going after the.
Yeah, this is the $1,000 one.
Creating beautiful objects that are as simple and pure as they are functional, well, that's always been our goal at Apple. We designed Apple Watch as a whole range of products, enabling millions of unique designs, unparalleled
Millions?
personalization, both in appearance and capability.
That looks pretty good. I like the face.
I think we're now
this is
at
actually from
compelling
a
beginning.
owning the
Actually
market perspective. This
designing
is key. That
technology
you have a million different
to be worn.
options because people
be
want
truly
individuality.
Right. All right, let's hear pricing. Probably won't announce pricing. I think they're establishing a pretty big range, though.
We've been working on Apple Watch.
Well, people in the audience like it, but remember, many of them are Apple employees.
They've been hand selected to like it.
To clap. How big are your hands?
Typically, when journalists in the audience, they
We've been
try
working on
not
Apple
to
Watch a long time.
emote.
And we assembled an amazing team to do so. It covered every discipline at Apple. One of the key people is here this morning. He led our software effort. He's Kevin Lynch. And I'd like to invite Kevin up on stage to give you the very first live demo of Apple Watch. Kevin?
So Kevin Lynch was the guy they acquired.
My wife is already asking me for one. and specifying the gold one.
And he's running the watch division.
Show you our work, and I'm wearing Apple Watch right here.
He was at Adobe. He was a CTO at Adobe, and we wondered when they hired him.
Now, to give you a better look,
why?
it's a little hard for you to
And
see.
I think he's a manager.
Built a
He's there to
custom one
run
that's connected to the
this
display
division.
here. So let's take a look at that. Now, I also have my iPhone, which is required with Apple Watch.
Hopefully it's not because the watch is based on
And the first thing you're going to see on
flash.
your watch when you look at it is the clock. Now, we thought a lot when we were designing Apple Watch about how to really reveal all of the great ecosystem of applications on this device. And we wanted to build it in a way that was really easy to find and use. So we've connected it to the digital crown. So if I press the digital crown at the top here.
Oh, some people like it.
I wanted it
to their
badly.
advantage.
Very easy to get out
But
to my
if
apps.
Apple goes
Now, when I'm
rectangle,
here, you can see the clock is the center of the universe.
As
the
Apple
apps you
goes.
frequently
This
use,
is
you
the
might put
interface that
around the
bothers
clock
me
here.
the
You can
most.
arrange these how you like. And I can pan just by simply swiping on the screen here.
Let's watch this.
I can go from one area to another of my applications. I can also get an overview of all of my apps
I don't like
just by
that.
rotating the crown. I will zoom
That
out
looks
to
like
a
a mess.
universe of apps. And you can arrange this
Very
just how you
hard.
like. And by tapping, you can go right into a neighborhood of apps.
No.
And if you'd like to go back to the clock, you
But
press
look
the
at the
crown,
number of
it
apps
brings
you
right
can
back
run
to
on
the
this
clock
thing. It must
again.
have a huge
Now,
amount.
to launch apps, it's very simple.
I
Of
guess
course,
you don't
just
really
tap
have
on
any
one of them.
choice but
Here's
to
the clock.
cluster them this way.
Now, the watch
If you're gonna
faces
put that
can be
many apps
customized
like
that, I
how
think
you
that's a
like. You
mistake.
can choose different ones. You can arrange them just for yourself. And to customize your watch face, you
getting the apps
just
from
force
the
touch on
phone.
the display, and it goes back a little bit. Now I can simply swipe over here, and I can choose another watch face.
This is
So if I
much
like
like
this one, I can
Android.
tap on it. That's now my watch face. I can also customize the appearance and the functionality
Can we bring
of these
that
faces.
video back up, please?
So again, if I force touch here, it will bring me out, and I can choose
This is one we
customize.
want to keep watching.
And here I can change the color of the face just by rotating the crown. I can change the color here and slide in some different colors on my watch. Or if I want to change the functionality of this face, I can just swipe over, and the green outline shows me what I'm currently changing. So I'll change the center area just by rotating the crown again. You can see I have a variety of information I can pull in here right on my watch face. This is my next
These
meeting,
are
which I
the
use a lot.
toughest interfaces
So I'll
to
keep
design. This reminds me of my car
just by force
interface.
touching.
Very
Let's look at a couple
difficult.
of other faces we have here.
You have a very
This is
constrained
one of my
environment.
favorite
and,
ones. This is called the
of course,
astronomy
Apple
face.
is
And it
brilliant
shows
at
you
UI.
where you are in the Earth.
I'm
So if you wake
remain
up and forget where you
unconvinced.
are, you
I'm
can just
really
look
going to
here.
have to play with this to see.
But it has to be said
you can go
that
fly to the
before we
moon
were
if you
looking at
tap on the bottom
CGI,
left
this is
here.
apparently the real
You'll
deal.
actually
real watch.
And it looks really smooth and really high
fluid.
res and
Yeah.
beautiful. But again, this isn't the shipping thing. This
This
is
is the
barely
current
even a
moon
prototype.
phase. We scheduled our event on a nice full
Looks
moon,
good,
so this
so.
will look great here. And I can
Of course, I'm
rotate
looking at it
the
like, how are they
crown here and
mirroring that?
advance time.
Look at that. This
You
is
can see I
pretty
can go
sweet.
forward and look at the new moon. I can see where the next quarter one's happening and the next full one about
But
a
remember,
month.
you're looking at a device that's
So it's a lot
38
of fun to
millimeters
play
by
with some of these
48
faces as
millimeters.
well.
It's tiny.
In addition to the Earth and the moon, I can zoom out even further, and I can look at the
It's a
whole
little
solar
deceptive.
system.
The screen on the right
And you can
makes it
see
look
where all the
big.
planets. This is the actual position of the planets right now for this time.
I don't know how
And if you
useful
forget
that's
which planets are which,
Yeah,
I can
you
just
know.
double
That
tap here. It will
size.
give me a
I mean, it's
little
cool.
cheat sheet,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
so I
cool.
can see which is which.
It's cool
let's
that
fly
it's
back
you're
here
zooming
now
out
to
from
the
the
Earth.
moon.
Look
Like
how
in the
look
moon.
how
That's a
smooth
great
this is.
watch
I have to
face
say,
called astronomy.
this A1 processor,
There's a
whatever
whole
it is
variety
fairly
of watch faces here.
sophisticated.
We spend a lot of time just doing some
The steak
beautiful work
sauce is
here
really
on
good, too.
the appearance of the faces. This is a nice analog one. Now, in addition to looking at the time, we also thought it's really important to look at other information
Smooth
as well. So
sweep
how
is
do we
nice.
represent that in a really glanceable way? So we've created something called glances. And the way you get to glances is you just swipe up from the bottom of the watch face, and you'll see information that you choose to have here. It can be from our built-in apps, it can be
Similar
from
to
third-party
Android Wear.
apps, and you can arrange these just how you like. Here's my next meeting, and if I just swipe horizontally, I can see things like where I'm located here at Flint Center, the current weather outside, NASDAQ, stock quote,
Theoretically very
and
similar
world
to
time,
Android Wear.
where I can see music I'm currently
Control
playing on
your music
devices
from
around
it.
me. And with this, you can actually control music on your iPhone, music on iTunes on your computer, or the music that's stored right on your Apple Watch.
That's interesting. It ties
here
to
I've
your
got it
computer
connected
as
to my
well.
iPhone, which is plugged into the speakers in this room, so it will sound really good.
Wonder if it controls Apple
so let's listen
TV.
to a little
This is
Coldplay.
probably the continuity that they've talked about with Yosemite, the idea that this is yet another device.
I can only imagine that also you're going to be able to control your Apple TV with it eventually.
Yeah.
You know,
I lose that remote all the time.
Or possibly immediately.
I lose it 5 times a day.
Now you can control tracks
I
and
have
volume,
kids.
everything you'd
I haven't
expect
seen it
right
for
here from
months.
your watch. And when you're done with glances, you just swipe down and they go away. Now, in addition to your looking at information, you may have information coming to you. And when you're notified of things on Apple Watch, we're using the Taptic engine to give you feedback on your wrist. It's just like somebody tapping you on the wrist very gently. And even if you're sitting right next to someone, they won't be able to tell that you're getting notified.
That's
It's
what
very
that
subtle,
is.
but you'll feel it on your own wrist. And you can choose what information, of course, will come
It's
and
an
notify
Apple
you on your
coinage.
watch. And if you do
Take off
choose
a
to look at
haptic.
something that's coming in, you just raise your wrist and the notification will come in, just like this. Here's a calendar invitation. Excellent. I'm invited to the karaoke outing finally with Eddie.
One of the reasons I've been using
So I
Android
can
Wear
swipe up
Watch is to
here and I can
understand
just
the
see
usage.
information about where it's
Right.
at
And these
time.
notifications
And then I have
actually
buttons that
become
are specific to
problematic
that
because
type of notification.
it is a smaller
Different buttons will
screen,
come
and
with
you spend a lot of time
notifications. Here's a calendar
swiping and
invite, so I can
manipulating. Have
accept,
you found that
reply,
too,
or
Yes,
Mike?
yeah, yeah.
And it, in fact, maybe isn't the best
Now, you might also
to
get
put a
other
lot of information
notifications.
on there.
Here's one from Johnny. Am I going with Love Shack or Wild Thing? I think he's teasing me. I'm going to press reply.
See what happens here.
Now, we've created something called Quickboard
Wow.
to enable really quick
That's
replies to
interesting.
messages that you're getting.
How
you
would
can
it
see
know?
here we've actually
It saw the word
analyzed the text
"or"
that's coming in
and the question mark
picked
or
out some things you might want to just tap on and send
Wow.
back.
And then smiley face.
And you can talk. I presume you can dictate a response.
You can dictate.
So I'm not going to tell Johnny what I'm seeing. It's a secret, of course. Now, I can also use dictation to reply. That will send either an audio recording of my voice, or I can convert that to text and send it, or I can use a new selection of animated emoji that we've created for Apple Watch. Let's use an
This
emoji.
is for
I'm
the
going to
Asian
tap
market.
there.
Right.
And we've got a great collection
Emojis
here of
are
emoji. These are hands,
huge.
hearts.
I have to admit, I've gotten a
and then
little
also
addicted to them
faces.
myself.
Yeah, and I think the
I'll
US
choose
is
a
I thought they were
face
very
here.
silly, and then I realized.
Now, when you're actually
Even
sending
Google does
a
this now with
face here,
Hangouts.
Why didn't they
you
call
can
it
control both
emoji?
the eyes and the mouth to get
Emojis.
just the right expression you'd like to send
You know
to
what? I
somebody.
love that. And you know, of course, it's
So
only
here
going
I'll
to work
just
if you're
edit this a little bit. I'll make it this is a
correspondent has an
winking
Apple
one.
Watch.
If I
That's
change
right.
the eye, or if I want to do something a little
Otherwise,
bit
it'd
more
just send
to
an
the
Apple
mouth
Watch
here,
commercial.
and change that.
All right, I'm loving
I think that's
this.
perfect to send back to Johnny. All right.
This is the best feature
And
yet.
so I'll just press send. Now that's sending,
really?
animated emojis to
I'm a simple
Johnny
man.
on his phone or his watch. It has
I
the
like
same
an
personalized
emoji, but I don't know about the
created.
animated
And that lets you
ones.
send a lot of
I predict
emotion
the first
without
one I get will be
interacting
from
very
a
much
woman
at all
named
on
Sarah
your watch.
Lane.
Probably.
There's a lot that Apple Watch can
If
do.
they have
I'm
a
gonna show
cat
you few
emoji,
more
you're
things
in,
here.
right?
And here comes
The
Siri.
first one is
Yeah.
that we've built Siri into Apple Watch.
All right.
So we can use Siri just by pressing the digital crown here
I've
and
always
ask
wanted to
questions
do
like
Siri.
what movies are playing, for example.
So you press the crown.
Press and
What
hold.
movies are playing tonight in Cupertino? So Siri will go out and check that information. It comes back
This
with
is
a list
good.
of movies that are playing around us here in Cupertino.
Forrest Gump,
I
wasn't
can
that-
use the crown
Forrest
to scroll
Gump?
this, or I can use my finger to scroll
This
this.
is an old listing.
Yeah.
Now I'll just tap on Guardians of the Galaxy because that one looks
The
really
100-foot journey is supposed
You
to be
can see we
great.
get some
Yeah.
very nice poster art there. We can see
Wow,
the ratings,
look at this.
who's in the movie.
They got the Rotten Tomatoes on there.
Lots of information, including showtime, synopsis.
This looks like
so you can
Flickster,
use a
which
lot
is
of Siri
what I-
functionality right
exactly
here on
what I
your
use
wrist with
my-
Apple Watch.
Phone for more than anything.
Now, we also looked at how you can carry your photos with you. And it's almost like having a little locket of photos right here with you. So we've got a Photos app here. And now, of course, precious photos number in the hundreds rather than a couple.
This is the UI they
so
showed
here
at
you can see an
WWDC.
overview, much like you can on your iPhone. Now, though, I can use the digital
Look
crown
at
to zoom
that.
right
You know
in
what?
photos
That may
to see
work.
Which ones I'd like to look at. Or I can easily just pan around
Look how
and
fast
look at
that is.
photos from different times.
That's a lot of data.
And if I'd like to, I can tap on
It's not a
photos and bring them in
pan.
larger on the screen here. And I can look at them one by one just by swiping.
You see that it was low res and didn't come into focus.
So this is a
until-
really great way to bring your precious photos with you. Now, by default, all of the photos that you favorite on your iPhone or your Mac will just show up on your Apple Watch. It can be any collection that you like to show here. One other app I'd like to show you is Maps.
This
which
feels
is amazing
2 or
to
3
have a Maps
generations ahead of
application on
Android
some
Wear.
It
Macs.
has
does.
to be said.
And particularly because of the screen quality.
Yeah.
Of course, it shows me where
Nobody
I'm
has
at
anything like
here
this.
at Flint Center. And I can pan around just by swiping.
And
So
that
you can see
explains
the
the
neighborhood.
thickness because the battery's got to be
I can also
pretty hefty
zoom
on
out
this.
with the crown. If I rotate the crown, it zooms me out and I can see more of the area.
And this is also why you want to have your own
Tightly
map
connected as I'm
application.
rotating the crown. Super
Because it would,
responsive.
it'd be very difficult to try to do this with Google
I can
Maps.
also pan around this
Absolutely.
view. And if
Very
I'd like
good
to get
point.
back to where I am, I can press on the bottom left, and it takes me right there. Now, if I'd like to look for things around me, you can bring up a context menu for maps by force touch. And here I have a search command. And I can find things by dictation, my favorites, or if I recently searched for things, I can just tap on those.
Whole
So we've got
Foods and
Whole Foods
donuts.
here.
He's a
Let's
little
get directions
conflicted
to
with
Whole
his
Foods.
diet
I'll just
there.
tap there. And it's
Now,
going to
whose search are
calculate,
they gonna use?
find
Is
the local
this-
Whole Foods
is
here.
this
It's going to be Bing.
You've
Siri
got the
or
hours,
Bing,
and
or-
you have also a phone number if you'd like to call Whole Foods, and you have directions walking and driving. So let's get walking
this is
directions
tough
to
for
Whole
Apple
Foods.
because they have to rely on
So it's figuring out the best way to get there now. And I'm going to press start. And it's going to do a little simulated walk so you can see how it goes.
That's a great Whole Foods they're pointing to, by the way.
Now, while you're walking, Apple Watch will give you taptic feedback on each turn.
That's right.
So you'll know whether it's time to turn left or to turn right.
Oh, that is.
And those feelings are different.
By the way, that is a turn by turn
So you can actually know without even looking at your watch which
or
way
glass.
to
You use glass that way, didn't you?
That's right.
Glass is amazing. Turn by turn.
Yeah.
I think your wrist would be as good.
Yeah.
Much better, actually, because you don't have to wear Google Glass.
Just for that reason alone.
I'd like to tell you is one that we worked on a lot in terms of communication. We thought hard about how to enable a new form of communication, given that we have the taptic engine and you're wearing Apple Watch. We've created something called Digital Touch. And you get to your friends with Digital Touch by pressing this button right below the digital crown. And there are my friends.
That's that home button.
Of course, you can choose who you'd like to have here in your friend list. And I can communicate with someone just by tapping. So I'll tap here on my friend
Kevin
Jeff.
is a good political
and I can either phone
Apple
him,
employee.
Right. Got a name drop.
All the right
or
friends.
if I tap right in the center, I can create this new form of digital touch communication.
It's not like they practice this for 3 days straight.
And here I can draw and tap and have a much richer
This is an intriguing thing as well,
Jeff.
I think.
He and I go out to lunch a lot, so we've now established this little code. When we're getting hungry, we can just tap each other, and we'll feel it on our wrist. So I'll just do the triple tap here for going to lunch.
No.
I'd tap that. That's a cool feature.
Like I am right now.
With your wife.
Somebody was going to say it.
Yeah.
Okay,
had to be.
so we do this a lot. That means what's for lunch. So I know that. So
This
I
is
know
interesting.
that Jeff
They're
really
inventing a
loves
new form of communication.
Sushi. So I'm going to bring up the color picker and pick a nice blue color, and I'm going to draw a fish. So I know how much Jeff loves sushi. Drawing in front of millions of people is really fun. Okay, there's my fish. What do you think? So that's
I love how it disappears with a little Tinkerbell animation. This is where Apple excels. You're never going to see Google do the Tinkerbell animation.
His heartbeat.
Maybe that doesn't matter.
Nor would they wipe the dew from the outside of the building.
Yeah.
And that's not just an emoji. That actually is reading the heart rate off of Jeff's wrist with Apple Watch and sending me his heartbeat so I can feel it on my wrist.
This is for flirting.
That's never
This
been
is
done
not
before. It's a really great aspect of this new
choosing
form of
lunch with your.
communication digital touch.
Also a lie detector, isn't it?
So
You're
those
on
are
the
just a
phone, you're like,
few
where were you?
things
And
on
then
Apple Watch. And I was happy to give you a little glimpse.
Okay, so that's a real demo. That is impressive.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Now we know from past experience that sometimes these demos are very touch and
organized.
go, but he did it and he got it through it and no crashes. Very interesting.
It's assuming that it's assuming that we're really getting a demo.
Effort across Apple, and it's just such an honor to work with the
I think
team.
we are.
Maybe.
Now, in addition to the work
I don't know
we've
how
been
they're doing the
we've
screen
also been
share.
working to enable third-party developers to extend their
Is there
apps
nothing
to Apple
connected
Watch.
to the?
We work on
Might
a
have
lot of
way
this
to
kind of
echo
stuff.
to the phone.
Or someone's watching over video and doing it inside of the software app.
Things that do things we never imagined.
Not that I've ever
possible.
done that.
And we think there's a great opportunity now in Apple Watch for that.
So that's pretty common, actually.
So we've created something to enable this on the Apple Watch. Initially, notifications will just show up. So for example, if you've got a notification from Facebook coming in, it'll look like this. If you choose to have these appear on your watch, you can have
Facebook
any
was one of the
third-party
companies that
apps
was
appear here,
seeded the
and they
SDK
look, very simple.
precisely
now
for
you can
this.
extend this even further and create a much more integrated experience with Apple Watch with
And
something called
Gurman also
WatchKit.
reported one additional social network
WatchKit
that
is
he
something
didn't
that
know who
enables
it
developers
was.
to create
Probably
rich,
Twitter, I would
actionable
imagine.
I would guess
notifications
Twitter.
with those buttons,
WatchKit.
apps that appear right on the home screen, and also the glances that we saw.
Here comes the rush.
So here are a few examples
This
of
is
this.
for developers.
Here we have Twitter with a notification coming in. And you can see it's using the same layout as the original tweet, but now it's much richer with images and text. It looks like the Twitter brand, and it has buttons that you'd like to use to favorite or retweet right on that message. Now, in addition to custom notifications, you can also create apps that appear on the home screen. Here's the Twitter app. If I tap on that, it will just launch the app. And here I can view things on my timeline, look at trending tweets, or I can actually tweet from my Apple Watch.
I don't see myself reading a
by
lot of
tapping
Twitter
on the top there.
on my watch. It's just such a small screen.
A few more examples. When you're traveling with Apple Watch, it's really great.
If you get it,
If you're in line, you know, it's like
if you're following friends or like DMs or something, I could see.
I like the
Not
notification.
just a stream in general.
I like the
checking into a
notifications.
hotel,
Yeah.
Starwood
I mean, if you think
Hotels
about it,
is
Twitter
great.
really
This is good.
For Apple Watch.
Ooh, do we
So
get the
you
hat?
check
Do
into
we
the
get the?
hotel, and you can unlock your hotel room door by waving
Really
your
want
watch
the
in front
QR
of the
code
door.
there.
Tap to unlock. Yep.
That's it.
Oh, tap to unlock the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hotel door. Participating hotels.
That's so awesome.
And that will be available across all W hotels.
So is that
in the
NFC?
springtime around the world.
I'll be
Or is
staying
that
at
Bluetooth LE?
It'll
City
be,
Mapper
didn't say,
enables
but
you
I
to
think
get
it's
maps
gotta be
Tap
to
usually means
directions,
NFC,
and it will
yeah.
also remind you to get off at the right stop just by using
Bluetooth
tap.
LE.
ah, look at that. It'll buzz you when it's your stop.
You've pinned sites
I need that.
cities
No more
you're
sleeping
traveling
through the,
It can remind you when you get near them and give you walking directions to them.
I once ended up in
BMW lets
Trenton
you see
by
the charge
accident.
level
So they
in your
Pinterest
car.
another social
And if you
network.
Control
forgot
your
where
car.
You parked it will actually show you a map of where you left your car and then directions back to it.
This is a Google Now card.
Yep.
But and this was the problem Apple faces, which is that Google has all this information.
MLB lets you see the current sports
Apple now
scores.
can collect it.
Honeywell lets you control
Yep.
the temperature in your home. With the Lutron app, you can control
Not a
the
Nest,
lighting and
no,
the scenes
a
in your home
Honeywell.
with one tap.
Right.
With the Nike app, you can challenge your friends to go for a run. So these are just some of the examples of the great
Sherlocking
apps that are already
apps left and
underway
right
for
here.
Apple Watch. And we just can't wait to see what
Well,
developers
I
are gonna
suspect
create
these
for
are
this
all
great new
third-party
platform.
apps.
Thank you very much.
Right. So what they're doing is they're telling developers, develop for this watch.
Yeah.
This is the rush. I mean, for a
the
developer,
rush.
this is the place to go. Like, stop
right.
making iPhone apps, start making iWatch apps. We get to be the first one right now.
Yep.
That's right.
There's a lot of millionaires that are about to be created.
Amazing what you can
Well,
do
let's
from
wait and see
your
when it's
wrist.
available.
And I'd like to spend a moment talking about yet one more.
Here's the health.
And that is health and fitness.
Yeah.
This is a very important area for me and a very important area for Apple. Apple builds great products that enrich people's lives.
Tim is on the board at
and
Nike.
arguably,
Nike
we can
earlier
take that
this
to
year
a whole new level with Apple
pretty much
Watch.
shut down its band division.
Being more
That's right.
active, as it turns out, is one of the
They
best
still
things
sell
you
it, but
can
they don't
do
develop it.
to
It's
improve
kind of,
your health.
they'll take
They
your
saw
money.
the writing on the wall.
An
Tim probably
Apple Watch
Right.
gives us the
nudged them.
ability to motivate people to be more active and more healthy. So if you're just someone who wants to be a bit more active,
Yeah, that's
or
me.
maybe you just want to track what you're doing during the day, or perhaps
I just want to know how active
you
I'm not.
exercise regularly,
Kevin Lynch making his debut as
or
an
even
Apple employee, doing a
if
good job, I
you're
think, with that
a
demo.
very serious athlete, Apple Watch helps you live a better day. We have two new applications in Apple Watch. The first is the Fitness app. The Fitness app monitors all of your activity
Second's
and
gonna be
movement
the
throughout the day.
wallet.
And the second is the Workout app. The Workout app allows you to set specific goals
I do expect a
for
wallet.
specific types of workouts like cycling or running. We've built an incredible team in health and fitness at Apple to work on Apple Watch. And in the video that follows, they're going to show you how all of this comes together to give you a comprehensive view of your daily activity.
David Pogue also wondering if the I name is dead
Yeah.
with the Apple
I think it
Watch.
is. I think,
the Apple
I think we're never going to see anything new with I.
Yeah.
About time.
Apple Watch is designed to help anyone who wears it lead a
Is this
healthier
Harvey
life
Firestein?
by being more active. From people who just want to be
this is
more
Jay
active
Blahnik,
throughout
the
the
another
day,
Nike
to
steal.
those who work out a few times a week, to athletes committed to improving their performance.
Jay was one of the
Apple
other
Watch
big
brings
acquisitions
together
that
the
I think we all
capabilities of an
thought
all-day
meant
fitness
Apple was doing a
and a
fitness device.
highly advanced sports watch in one.
He did something at, was it Burberry before Nike?
Wider variety of activities
Yeah,
because it's
he
able
came
to
from
collect more
fashion
types of data.
originally.
But fitness has been his main gig.
It has a custom sensor that can measure intensity by tracking your heart rate, and it uses the GPS
Fitness
and Wi-Fi in your
instructor,
iPhone to track how far
consultant
you
author
move.
from Laguna Beach.
So it is using the GPS in the iPhone. Like, it is paired.
Picture
It's
of
not doing it on its own.
and not just highlights
This is
the
definitely something.
quantity
It's
of
an
You'd like to
accessory for
offload
the
as much as you
iPhone.
quality
can,
and
yeah.
frequency as well. So the activity
don't wanna
app
offload,
on
there's
Apple
no
Watch
Said Nike
measures
for
3
18
separate
years
aspects
he
of movement,
launched
with the
Nike
goal
Plus
of helping
running.
you sit less,
You can flip this, right? So like if you're left-handed or for whatever reason you really want to wear a watch on one wrist or the other, you'd be able to flip and have the
It's not practical because that
dial.
stem is on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Well, but says who? Who cares?
Well, I can tell you as
It'd
a
be
lefty,
lower.
you're going to end up watching it and wearing it on your left wrist.
The Move Ring is customized to you.
I would think.
And you close it
I have
when
to
you
see
hit
if
your
the stem is
personal
over here.
calorie goal for the day. The exercise ring
Have to wear it
captures the
for
brisk activity that you
Because of
do.
where the
Flip it,
This
though.
doesn't necessarily mean hardcore exercise.
Or the
It
watch.
means any activity done at the level
Oh,
of
you
a
see it
brisk
like that,
walk.
you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I see what you're saying.
You close the
could do
ring
that. You're right.
when you hit the globally
If it's
recommended 30
reversible,
minutes of
yeah.
exercise per day.
It's one advantage a
And it
digital
doesn't
watch has
even need
over
to be
a
all at
real
once.
watch.
Everything we've
stand
seen
ring shows
suggests
how often
that
you've
it's
stood up
just
to take a
chewing
break
through
from
battery
sitting,
life.
which helps you
I
minimize
know.
Right.
That's the real challenge here. And I think
this may
that's
seem
why
like
it's so
small
thick.
thing, but sitting less can go
It's probably
a long
2/3
ways towards
battery.
improving
Yeah.
your health. A complete ring means that you've stood for
look
at
at
least
how
1 minute and 12
is
different
great.
hours during the day.
This is much more granular information than
There's
just how many
also
steps
a
you take.
dedicated workout app to provide more detailed measurement when you need it most.
And they're smart.
And you
This
know
is a
they
big
brought you
market.
brought him in and said,
Yeah.
okay, what's
What do
the
you need,
perfect
Jay?
what's
Yeah.
the perfect thing to
Set
make
a
this
goal.
absolutely.
I mean, he is a fitness consultant.
And for people who are doing fitness, I mean, having this heads-up display is a big deal.
I agree. And apparently they like neon colored.
Because now your headphone, here's the other thing is now your control, you're sitting there with your watch, your iPhone can be in your pocket, your headphones are on, you're not, but your control's up here, so you're not constantly pulling your iPhone out to hit play and...
When you're done,
And as
you
I've
can end your
learned with
workout,
the Android
see
Wear
an
watch,
entire
it's
sum of
nice
your
when you're
session
driving to have
and earn
stuff on your
awards for
wrist.
your achievements.
Because you can keep your hands on the
The
wheels
fitness
to
app
see
on the
what's going on.
iPhone stores all your activity data.
And I still think there's going to be a revolution of how this gets connected to machinery that's in your gym. You know, paying attention to it because it could be, and it could even with free weights, it could be, it could know how many reps you did.
That's the challenge. Most of these devices really only recognize walking and running. They don't recognize bicycling.
But what if they start? What if you start having either Bluetooth LE or NFC or whatever?
They need to.
By the
That's a big what if. I don't.
With Nautilus machines that
goals that are personal,
It's all about the
realistic,
API and third-party
and most
development.
important,
They do it.
achievable, which gives you a far better chance of succeeding.
and you could retrofit a lot of
Apple
those
Watch is going to greatly
for high-end ones
improve
like
the way
Club
we
One
keep
or the
track
one
of
we
our
have here
activity
that
and change the way we look at
I don't remember
fitness.
his name anymore. It used to be Club One here in Petaluma.
We think it's going to help a lot of people live a better day and a healthier life.
You too can be 27 again and thin, running in the sunset. You buy one of these.
We could not be more excited about bringing these health and fitness features to the Apple Watch. Apple Watch required some deep innovation. It's a precise timepiece with incredible ability to customize.
Something in the
It's a
chat room
new,
talked about sweatproof.
innovative,
The
intimate
rumor was
way
that it was going to be waterproof to 20
communicate
minutes.
They mentioned early on the
from your
waterproof
wrist.
sensors.
And it's a comprehensive health and fitness device. And it is so much more that we don't have time to cover this morning. I use mine to control my Apple TV. Another member of the team loves to use theirs as a viewfinder for their iPhone camera. Still another loves the walkie-talkie ability.
Apple TV's IR.
The list
I don't know how
of
you would
features
control an
is
Apple
a
TV
mile long.
No, you can do
And
you can do it with your
I'm certain when
iPhone.
developers
You don't need
get their
IR. You can do it
hands
through the once it's
on
connected to the Wi-Fi.
So you'd have to
developer
have an iPhone app.
That list will get even longer.
So it's really
There will be
controlling it
things
through the
that we
iPhone.
couldn't
Right,
even
and
imagine
Wi-Fi.
in it.
Sorry about the continual loss of audio. That's an Apple problem.
I don't understand how.
I got rid of the Chinese.
Yeah, exactly.
Simultaneous interpretation. Just keep showing the screen because
He mentioned it
Requires the
He just mentioned it could be
iPhone
used as a
because it's been
walkie-talkie.
designed to seamlessly work together.
Walkie-talkie.
Like with handoff, where you might read
go,
an
handoff,
email on your
continuity.
watch
This is part of
and then
the
respond
ecosystem.
to it on the iPhone. The email appears right in the lock screen of your iPhone.
Wow.
It's really cool. Of course, Apple Watch works with iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, but we've also designed it so that it will work with iPhone 5, iPhone 5C, and iPhone 5S.
This is probably about as far back as they started really designing the phones to be able to tie into it.
This
Well, anything
means
with
that
Bluetooth
over
LE.
200 million people already
That's good
use
news.
Apple Watch. Now, we expect the usage of Apple Watch through the day to be incredible because there's
Here
so
we go,
many
battery
different
life.
things you can do with it. And so
$349.
we've designed it so that it's simple to charge at night. We're using inductive charging. It has a magnet and it aligns perfectly to the back of the watch.
I'm
It
hearing
is
the
so simple
bottom
and
price
elegant.
is $349.
It's something only Apple could do. Apple Watch starts at only $349.
And goes
Wow,
up
it's
to,
practically free.
And it will be available early next year.
And
it is worth the wait.
A lot of size there.
Man.
We think people are going to love to use Apple Watch.
I have to use this stupid Android Wear watch for another 3 months.
It's something functional, yet incredibly beautiful. It empowers people and enriches their lives.
Remember, this is a first
Apple
generation.
Watch is the most
This is as thick as it's ever going to be,
device
as clunky as
Apple
it's
has
ever going to
ever
be.
created.
And it's still fairly
We
impressive.
are so excited about Apple Watch.
Yeah, when you think about like where we are now and where the original iPhone was, next couple of years will be fun.
So please tell us what the giant building is for.
I bet you it's a big showroom for the press.
They're going to have a demo room, yeah.
It's been an incredibly fun morning for us. You've seen the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. These are the best iPhones we've ever made. And they have amazing larger displays, but more importantly, they're better in every
Why would they make
single
worse
way.
phones?
It's the biggest advancement in the history of iPhone. And Apple Pay, it's going to change the way you pay for things forever. And everything you need is right in your iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Now, it also works with another product.
Here we go. Watch Pay.
Apple Pay will work with Apple Watch.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That
That's
does
awesome.
make it easier.
Yeah.
How do they authenticate it? I wonder.
Well, that's interesting.
I think
we're using Touch ID on the phone, right?
Yeah. He demonstrated the phone functionality as you're holding your thumb on it while you touch it.
On the best personal computers in the world with the Macintosh, the best tablets in the world with iPad, the best phones in the world with iPhone, made even better today with iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, running the world's most advanced mobile operating system with iOS 8.
This is the key
We
position.
couldn't be more excited that iOS 8
We're not going after
is
the bottom of the
finding its
market.
way into
We're
other
not going
parts
after the middle of the
people's
market. We're going
lives
after the best.
with HomeKit, HealthKit.
You want the best,
and
you'll buy
CarPlay.
Apple.
Well, that's where the margin is too.
The first mention of HomeKit, an hour and 45 minutes in. Lost audio again. Sorry about that.
Did they mention the battery life on the Apple Watch? Besides the fact that it's easy to
They
charge.
implied that you'd get through the day.
Yeah.
Because you really need to get through the day. But
yeah.
it would be nice if you could get through
Most
3
of the
days.
Well, you know what? I don't think that's an issue at all. You're not going to see that anymore. You charge your phone every day. You're going to charge your watch every day. The question is, can you get through a day?
Exactly.
I think expecting more than one day out of a watch or a phone, those days are gone.
DNA. It runs through the core of all of our products. Apple changed the way people listen
Just
to
imagine
music
what
a
the
decade
18 karat
ago,
gold version
and iTunes has been at the center of that experience.
I think 1,000. I think you're talking $9.99.
We celebrate our love for music with the iTunes Festival, and it is going on as we speak in London.
Here we
at
get a
the
little music.
historic-
Who's performing today on the iTunes Festival?
We'll never know. It's another glitch by the Apple stream.
But that's really a testament to how many people are watching this. I know I just walked back through the studio, and even all of our employees are watching the stream. This is the stream everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to know what's going on.
U2, U2 is
artists
the
that
band.
make it up.
It's playing there.
Today?
A decade.
Yes, in London, I think.
Then I have a feeling we're going to see the stage, because they would take stage in 1 hour. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Roundhouse stage live in just a moment with U2.
That band is U2.
Yep. So the rumor is true.
All right.
No phone call from Dr. Dre. But we do have U2.
They forgot about Dre.
No Gwen
U2
Stefani.
has agreed
She's
to
there.
perform for you today. And we could not be more excited about this. U2 is among the most respected artists in the world. among the best-selling.
We're going to be
They've won more
on a
Grammy
personal note in
Awards
the
than
Roundhouse
any
September
single band
30th,
in
the last
history.
iTunes Festival performance, Placido
They're a
Domingo.
member
I'm
of the
looking
Rock
forward
and
to that.
Roll
Nice.
Hall
Yeah.
of Fame. And as accomplished as they are in music, they have also made incredible accomplishments
funny
by
if they'd had
focusing on
Placido
human
Domingo
rights
at this
causes and the
Little
advancement of the
operatic
human
tenor.
race.
Yes, exactly. Goes so well.
Yeah.
It is
With your gold
incredible
iWatch.
Samsung would
honor
do it.
Tell my parents,
for
man.
us
How
They're
would
in
you
London.
not call it the
have you
iWatch?
two join us on stage
The Apple Watch.
and
They're
perform.
moving. I think they're moving all the branding.
I mean, they're in Cupertino? No. That's Cupertino. They're in Cupertino.
Or are they going to play on the screen?
Yeah.
No.
What? Technical issues abound. Feedback now through the stage. Yeah, that's you too.
I have nothing bad to say about U2, but at the same time,
Yeah.
meh.
What? You go away from here now.
I mean, okay,
You
sure.
think you think they're not as good as the Postal Service?
What is? Why do you
favorite
do
band?
Why do you do these things to me? I mean, U2 is fine. It's fine.
There's goodness and then there's hotness. They're not exactly the hottest band in the
No, but they're good. How would you feel about the Rolling Stones? Not hot, but still.
They're kind of like the Rolling Stones for the
They're
next
starting to
generation.
be like
You know,
the Rolling
younger
Stones
generation.
of the 80s.
The Rolling Stones were a sort of a not hot band when Microsoft had them for the Windows 95 launch in 1995.
Who do you want? Lil Wayne? What are you looking for? I don't understand.
Hey,
They're not controversial, I think. I think that's part of the...
Yeah.
I mean, having Eminem up there would probably be a little...
You know, they had Kanye in 95.
Before he was a mess.
They had
a mess?
John Legend.
You mean a creative genius?
Uh-huh.
Did you hear Yeezus? Oh my gosh, I'm sitting at the wrong table.
Yeah, I guess
I'm not saying his music. I'm just saying his personality would not be something Apple would put at an event now. His music's great.
Well, they put up with Dr. Dre.
Although it's because they need his streaming service.
Do you put iTunes Radio on your iWatch? I'm sorry, your Apple Watch.
And you control it that way, but it's really on your phone,
Yeah.
is my guess.
I like the idea of it as a walkie-talkie. And a viewfinder for the iPhone camera, too. That's really
I
interesting.
like that. Selfies to a whole new level. You want some questions from the
Yeah,
system here?
let's go to our question engine, twit. What was it? twit.to/iPhone 6.
So we have Nicholas Toder said, describe the Apple Watch in one word.
Thick.
Finally.
Expensive.
Gold.
Next one is from The Fixer. And the question is, with such a large phone, will they continue to make the iPad mini?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
It's not that large.
Right.
And in fact, it fills a nice little niche in there.
Mm-hmm. No, I think
I'm interested in how many people will go with the larger phone. You know, we kind of glossed over it, but this is a huge departure for Apple.
Yeah.
They started with a 3.5-inch phone. It was 4 inches until 2 years ago. 3.5 inches until 2 years ago. 4 inches only for the last couple of years. 5.5 inches.
Now the question is will you change what you're doing as far? I mean, I think that
I
for
think it
this,
changes how you
I
use it.
only if I carry my iPad.
I don't need it.
I mean, I think that's the.
It has to be said that when they launched the 3.5-inch phone, it was the biggest screen any of us had ever seen on a phone.
Right. Then they just stuck with it.
And they stuck with it. And then it became the smallest screen they've ever seen.
From Dustin Page in Edwardsville, Illinois, he says, what implications does Apple Pay have on startup companies like Square? I don't even call Square a startup anymore. Are they going to leave?
Yeah. I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think I think Apple's not even looking at Square. I think they're looking at Amazon.
Steve Gibson says he will be looking into the secure store on the iPhone and the Apple Pay. But we won't be able to really talk much about it until Apple really reveals the details. Also pointed out, apparently, that Android does support a similar secure store, although I don't know which phones or devices use it.
That's the whole problem with Android stuff for this kind of thing. It's like everybody's like, well, I heard that something like that is available, but where and who and how and where are the partnerships and where's the... So...
Miracle, Joey Ramone. And the Ramones.
A little tribute to the Ramones.
From Ken Torbeck. If the Apple Watch can use Apple Pay, do you really think the Touch ID adds security?
There's something they're not telling us, and it's got to be. You've got to authenticate the watch.
My
before you
guess
walk in
is
the store,
there's a time limit on authentication. You authenticate and can say, I want this authentication to count for an hour, a day. Tim Cook playing Dick Clark right now, interviewing the band.
5 years, that's untrue. We have made several albums, we just haven't released them. We're making music all the time, that's what we do.
Can you turn it up just a little bit?
We wanted to wait until we had one that was as good as our very best work, as good as the best we've ever done. And
You know, we feel the same way about products.
we're the blood in your machines. Oh, Zen master of hard and software, Tim Cook.
Did he just say we're the blood in your machine?
Yeah, that's gross.
We have a video from our live U-Unit streaming images of outside the Apple event. We could switch to that. Do you have that available?
Zen master.
Well, maybe not. They've decided to point the camera at the trees, but
I think they're walking.
There were pictures of people standing outside the white box.
Outstanding people, I think you can call them.
During this YouTube commercial.
Label copy?
That's a white label copy, that is. And the question is,
great.
And I think you can help us. How do we get this to as many people as possible?
Well, you know, we do have iTunes.
Can we show it? Or is that not doable?
You have over 500 million subscribers to iTunes. So
looks like we're hiding in the bushes.
There you go. Those people in red are no doubt Apple employees, perhaps Apple security. Yeah.
Could you
still don't know what that big white box is for? Is that Johnny Ive standing there in the blue shirt? No, that's just somebody who looks bald.
Apple has the least intimidating bouncers in the.
I think it's kind of like when we went to the speaker. What was the speaker? The Apple speakers.
The hi-fi event
and
at Cupertino.
You went to all these different rooms showing you how it did work.
Yeah, they took us upstairs at the Cupertino campus, and they had a dorm room, a living room, a kitchen.
My guess is that's really what we're going to see there.
See this in these devices used in a real-world context. There were rumors that maybe it was a fashion runway.
They just announced that the YouTube album is going out for free on iTunes.
The U2 album.
U2 album. Did I say YouTube?
You did.
It's too much technology.
I wonder how much Apple paid for that.
Yeah. Free for iTunes. Wow.
U2's new album, Songs of Innocence, is going out for free to 500 million people in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
okay,
2,
you can move on now.
Thank you, you too.
I'd like to dedicate this album to Joey Ramone.
Did that really happen? Did that really happen?
We're not kidding. That just happened.
No, he's this is the fanboy Tim Cook. It's kind of fun to see this actually. Yeah. He's actually squeeing right now on stage. He touched Bono's finger. Did you see that?
It's a beautiful day for Tim Cook.
Thank you to everyone at the Apple team. This is a very, very big deal for us.
Oh, come on.
It's kind of our core DNA. The clue is in the name. We really do want to get.
And Apple could do that once a week. It wouldn't even. It would be like a rounding error. Yeah. Just to release albums from top bands.
No big deal.
Pay the band like, what did you make on your last album? We'll pay you that. Yeah. And we'll just so it's guaranteed.
It's interesting. The financial deal on this is kind of intriguing. They're making enough money getting people to the
just
iTunes
to make
store.
Just for the launch, it doesn't matter. I mean, to them, it's
Every iTunes customer gets this album, this incredible album.
$15 million for Apple to pay U2 for their album.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's a rounding error.
That's over 500 million customers. And it makes music.
If they track it, it'll be #1 on Billboard next week.
Yeah, good point. Let me just go to my iTunes store.
Maybe not R&R. I don't know if R&R tracks that.
Just to go through the details.
I should have told Zach to bring a tripod, shouldn't I?
119 countries.
Okay.
It's
Huh? He's got him on a
available
pod? All right.
throughout
Do you have
the
comms
day
with him,
in
or-
your iTunes music library. All you have to do is click.
Wouldn't that be funny if they did have Johnny Ive out there doing security?
This incredible music.
It does look like him,
It
but
will
I
also
don't
be
think
on
it is.
Please get
iTunes
behind the
Radio
aluminium
and Beat
I'm sorry.
Music.
I'm on the iTunes store. I don't see it yet, so.
It will only be with Apple until mid-October. And so if you aren't an
Exclusive
iTunes
for,
customer
a
today,
month.
become one before mid-October and you get this album for free. I'd really like to
that's a
thank
good-
the band.
Again,
This
if Apple
is
uses this as a
incredible
model,
for us,
other than
incredible
possibly
for
getting
all
the
of our
antitrust
customers.
problems, they would basically, like, for the next month, you can get it for free. They would just be, and then if you start thinking about them adding this to the, subscription services, where it's only, like the new YouTube album is only available on.
Well, they've always done
music.
free singles. There's free singles every week, but
we're doing whole albums.
Free album. It's a significant. It is not on iTunes at this moment. I'm looking at it.
Evidently, there's some latency with the finger touch.
Yeah, you have to touch Bono's finger in order to get it.
All right, let's quickly go to the outdoor shot. This is the big white box. You see all the TV cameras lined up. There's Apple security, and somebody's waving at us and telling us, "Hello, I'm in line." And this is an Apple ad. This is where they make their money. A U2 ad.
Hey, Joey Ramone.
It's kind of interesting. How Joey would feel about this.
He wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the old iPod commercials. The
Very
nice
much.
and colorful person.
Very much. And I presume that's what this is.
I met Joey Ramone in 1981.
Did you?
And he is the closest thing that you just felt like, I can't believe he's alive. He's like just walking like so in and just kind of moving around. It's like, like a wraith.
There was an
Really
ad
cool.
for the free
Insane.
album, which they'll be showing to
So you've just witnessed the biggest
everybody.
album release in the history
A lot of the
music.
press left during the U2 performance and is now waiting in line to get into the big white box. That's what we're seeing here is the lines there.
How do we get in the box?
I want to thank
You're
everyone.
going to think
for
inside the
coming.
box.
I especially want to thank all the people from Apple that were so
This is
involved.
a Steve Jobs tradition.
Please stand up.
At the end of all of these keynotes to thank the people who gave up their families, their friends, their lives,
In these products, please stand up.
and a big contingent from Apple in the audience.
It's cheaper than bonuses.
There's
Yeah,
Eddie Q's pink shirt in the front row there.
He really stands out, doesn't he?
We're going to call him Eddie from
They
Jersey.
are the reason that we can create great products like this and have events like this to hopefully make all of our customers happy. I'd like to call out especially Johnny Ive for his incredible contribution on the Apple Watch.
He's right now performing security out front.
And
There's
Jeff
Johnny. He's in
Williams,
his blue shirt.
who has been running the engineering team on Apple Watch.
Sitting right next to him.
And Craig Federighi, who's been responsible for iOS 8.
Craig did not speak today.
Yeah. We had
And
enough of
Eddie
him last time, I
Q.
think.
Who was the driver of Apple Pay. And everyone at Apple.
Now we know why Eddie's new job was so important.
For the press and guests, we have
White box.
the most amazing hands-on experience. Far beyond what we've ever had, waiting for you.
I thought he was
And
going to
I
give him
hope
an
you take the
iPhone. If we
time
go, you see they're
to go
running in right
get your
now.
hands
People are being
on
trampled to
the
death.
iPhone and the Apple Watch and
It's
try
like Black
out Apple
Friday.
Pay.
Let me in, let me
Use your
in.
credit card.
Still, they're not showing us what's in there.
Everyone for coming.
It's the most
a privilege
incredible
to see you this
experience.
morning.
They should have a
Goodbye.
single watch in there. Just one.
My watch is going crazy.
These are the people that are going to leave that building and come out and sell the watch to the world for Apple.
That's exactly right. All the news crews you can see going in.
Yep.
And I think in some ways by not showing that does give them their special moment. You know, like where because you always want to give press the ability to do something before everybody else without seeing it all. So.
Do we know, is Zach there behind the trees because that's as close as he could get, or he just thought that would be a great shot? That's as close as he could get.
It makes it seem very TMZ of us.
Were we chased away by Apple security? Well, it is like, quick, get the shot.
Telephoto lens.
We should have just given the camera and the backpack to Renee.
You know, they should have let us in, and we could have streamed the thing a little bit better. And maybe,
our stream would have been.
But we do have a live view down there with Patrick Delahanty and Zach and Karsten. We hope that Andy and Renee, I think Andy and Renee, in fact, if you watch the line, I'm sure they'll go by. They're going to go quickly to the demo room to see what special something Apple's put together inside that big white box, which they have been building over the last few weeks. Look, there goes Andy's hat floating by behind the pink-haired fella. So Andy's easy to spot. So Andy is now on his way into the room. As soon as he emerges, we'll have his live thoughts along with Renee Ritchie, and we'll make that part of Mac Break Weekly. If you go to the Apple, they did not announce availability, did they? If you go to the Apple website.
Next year.
Oh, they did announce the phone. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I apologize. They did. They said it'll be pre-orders. Is that for both phones? Here's the Apple website. And the iWatch is on the Apple website as well, plus a link to watch the keynote and the free YouTube album. Getting, by the way, equal billing to the iWatch and the new phones. So once again, we'll just recap and then we'll wrap it up because Mac Break Weekly is coming up in just a bit, and we hope that we'll begin Mac Break Weekly. Justine Nazarek, Justine will join us. But we hope we'll also get Andy and Renee and their initial impressions of both phones and, I hope, an iWatch. I hope there's one or two in that big white building, but we'll find out.
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch. Really? I have to say Apple Watch.
Yep. I think the I name is
dead.
Officially dead.
Yeah. So Apple released as expected. In fact, nothing that we saw today was unexpected. Two new iPhones, a 4.7-inch iPhone 6 and a 5.5-inch iPhone Plus. Both will be available for pre-order this Friday, the 12th, and then you'll be able to start picking them up at the stores on the 19th. No mention of short availability. We had heard a lot of rumors that there wouldn't be a lot of those 5.5s, or they may be available later. I think if you want one, you should order it at midnight.
Yes.
On Friday.
And you'll get it within the next 2 months.
They also announced, and I think this may be the most important announcement of the day, Apple Pay, an ability to pay directly with your new iPhone. Will not work with older iPhones, or that iWatch when it becomes available.
Apple Watch.
Next year. You're going to be my conscience.
That's right.
Thing is, Apple Watch, well, all right. I guess we'll just call it the Apple Watch.
I guess we should, I guess.
We have to.
Yeah.
That's good publicity for Apple. You know who makes it anyway. The Apple Watch itself will start, he said, at $349.
We don't know how far up it goes.
There are 3 models, 3 different sizes, and the most expensive.
Burke made us little paper mock-ups.
We have mock-ups.
We think $9.99 for the
small one is actually pretty small. I mean, it's.
But they dared.
It certainly fits me.
That's the $349 model, I would guess. There's a sport model, middle-of-the-road sport model, and then
have a high
That's what they do.
An 18-karat gold.
Rich people the ability.
Apple Watch edition, they call it.
That's the one I want.
I think we're going to see a lot of very high-end versions of a lot of Apple's products because I think they're going to want to give rich people the ability to like the gold one is just the ability to give people who have the money the ability to show off that they have the money.
So watches will feature an entirely new interface, not iOS, not Mac OS, but something entirely new.
Right.
They call that stem there the crown button, and it has multiple functionality. You can tap it as well as twirl it. There's also a button on the bottom of it that at least one feature of it is that you can use it to pull up your names of your friends, I guess, for quick calling. It does have Siri. It does have voice dictation. It does have, as we expected, a heart rate monitor. Apparently knows when you're standing, knows when you're sitting.
But it's also very tied to your iPhone. You know, this isn't a standalone device.
Here's something interesting. Nobody in the press can touch any of the watches that are on display right now.
We're starting to see pictures now from the... So I think
there are quite a few of them on display, but no touching.
I think the two biggest surprises from this event are, number one, where is the sapphire on the phones? Everybody was certain that at least one of the phones, the big one, would have sapphire.
That's one leak
Apple
that
built
did not pay
the world's
out.
largest sapphire plant, has been supposedly cranking out sapphire.
The sapphire is on the watch,
yes,
not on the phone.
Which makes more sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and the second surprise, which I think is the biggest surprise, is that there's obviously a payoff between power and elegance that every watchmaker has to make. And Apple, although the design is elegant, the roundness is theoretically elegant, they really went for the power. They just maxed it out on power. This is not it's not smaller than other watches. It's certainly not less expensive than other watches, but it looks to be significantly more powerful and more sophisticated than other watches.
Here's Lance Ulanoff of Mashable's Vine from the demo room. And it isn't a catwalk or a runway, but they are showing the watches. Lots of people taking pictures. You can't touch it. They're attached to the charger you see on the back. That is a inductance charger that's wireless.
That's a cool charger.
Well, I think a good idea. They didn't mention battery life. Implied it would last all day, but all day can be, as we've learned, a variety of different things. Interchangeable bands make it a fashion item for sure, as does an 18
and very customizable
choice. Yeah,
yeah,
customizable UI, and really a lot of features that no other watch yet has. On the other hand, it's not particularly elegant looking, but maybe it will be once we put it on. I think if history is any indicator, it'll get thinner, it'll get more powerful.
It's interesting. Matthew Panzarino of TechCrunch has a photo of somebody clearly holding one of the watches and showing the little underbelly. So maybe only certain people can touch them.
That looks like Marcus Brownlee's hands. Perhaps Marcus has a special in.
Perhaps.
It was Marcus that had the sapphire screen, which there apparently was a fake.
That's why Apple
or
didn't
maybe
have
not
it. Marcus
sapphire.
had it.
It may not have been
might have been
sapphire.
Gorilla
It might have
Glass.
just been glass.
Yeah.
And, nobody was able to determine whether that was sapphire.
They just said glass. They didn't say Gorilla. They didn't say sapphire. They didn't say what it was, other than ion. But they did have a patent for ion reinforced sapphire, so it might be sapphire, and they just didn't want to say it.
Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, it keeps Gorilla from arguing about it because they're not telling you what it is.
They never have. I don't think they've ever used Gorilla.
They're not giving Gorilla the marketing.
Others have said Gorilla Glass. Apple, in fact, brought Gorilla Glass back to life after Corning had dumped the project for its first iPhone. They've always used Gorilla Glass and never said Gorilla Glass to my memory.
Right.
So we don't know what it is, and Apple doesn't like to talk about it. Let's show a picture of the demo room out front right now. Big crowd there. I've noted occasional Apple executives coming and going. This is apparently as close as we can get. They saw the TWiT logo and they said, 100 feet back.
Yeah.
But we will, I hope, be able to talk to Andy and Renee soon. So next month for Apple Pay. Next year for Apple Watch. September 19th for 2 new iPhones. And yes, Tim Cook did say one more thing. There goes Craig Federighi walking by to go into the demo room there. He's in the blue shirt.
Oh, sure. He gets to cut the line.
I'd keep Zach. No. All right, we'll cut back to our video. Hey, we thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Sarah Lane. iPad today, i5 for the iPhone. Tech News tonight. I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about tonight on TN2 at 5 p.m.
Yes. We have Mark Gurman from 9 to 5 Mac joining us, who always has interesting things to say.
Well, and he had a lot of predictions and a lot of scoops, most of which came true.
That's right.
So
he's the scoop master these days. Gotta love him.
He'll have a lot to crow about. Mike Elgan, our news director, thank you for being here and sticking around after TNT. Alex Lindsay as well from Pixel Corp. Would you guys want to stick around for Mac Break Weekly? You don't have to.
I can't forbid.
All right.
I can't forbid. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll do Mac Break Weekly in just a few moments.
There's pizza.
There's food in the back, so we're going to take a little bit of break. We thank you for joining us. And this concludes our live coverage of Apple's iPhone and Apple Watch announcement in Cupertino today. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.